our girls want to be video girls. We're starting to see our girls want to be reality TV stars, basketball girlfriends, and instead of doctors, lawyers, and teachers. And I felt like that's not where our girls needed to be. And we had to accept the responsibility as women, become who we needed to be so they can say, hey, I can have all those things too and not have to be in their role. So I started a women empowerment blog not even a year ago, getting ready to hit a year in February. And then I also wanted to start dipping into some mentorship programs where we had the little girls that wanted to become fierce, fearless, free women. So I'll get into that in a moment.
Is that the one, fierce?
That's not it.
Oh. Okay, which one?
It's a folder. I can find it. There we go.
You need a clicker?
Sure. Okay.
All right.
I think it's large. There we go. Okay, now we're up and running. There we go. So I tried to figure out what I wanted my blog to touch on, and so I felt like it needed to be on 7 principles. And the first one was to put God first. First and foremost, that's the head of my life, and I feel like I can't do anything without God. Be the example. It's our responsibility to be the example for young girls. Be sophisticated, sexy. I think it's very important to be feminine and to be sexy, but to do it in a very sophisticated way. Be respectful, be supportive of other women, because I felt like that's another area that we felt short. We don't support other women. We don't beat women up. We don't make referrals. We don't do that. But I feel like the boys club is real. They make referrals. They bring people into companies, but we fail to do that. So I talk a lot about being supportive in my blog, being patient, having the faith, putting in the work, and then being patient and waiting on it to happen because it is going to manifest. And no bad bees allowed. I felt like there are a lot of words out there, a lot of terminology to express how beautiful you are, to where you don't have to take a negative word and attach bad in front of it and actually think it's a compliment. And so the little girl t-shirt, you'll see every little girl wants to walk in her mommy's heels one day. And so it just represents that she's watching her and she wants to become her. But if she's not a positive role model, then she will not grow up to be a positive woman. So that's the movement that I started. But a year ago, there was no movement, there was no blog, there was no business, there was nothing. And so as she mentioned, I went to TSU. Business was my background. So I've always known I wanted to be in business. I always wanted to be in business. I don't know if it was because I said I wanted the suits and I wanted the nice car. All I know is I equated it with business, and then that was my field. So I landed in human resources. So I love the people aspect of it. I love how chaotic it is, problem solving, coaching, training, and development. But I wasn't fulfilled because I always had an entrepreneurial spirit. So it wasn't my passion, it wasn't my purpose. I knew that there was a greater calling over my life. And so I started to really struggle because here I am in a success environment. My sister, she's a culinary artist, baking since we were kids, published author, tangible, recognizable talent. You see what her gift is. You know, I have hairstylists, 6-figure hairstylist friends that they do hair, didn't have to take a class. It's apparent what their gift and their talent is, but what about me? I felt like I didn't have a gift. I didn't have a talent. There was nothing that I could monetize and turn into a business, and so I struggled with that. And so I battled a lot with my faith, my spirituality, but not in the sense that I didn't believe in God, but in the sense that I started to question God, and that makes you uncomfortable. So here I am, I'm battling, I'm uncomfortable, I'm asking God why. I'm starting to really get into deep prayer. And I'm asking, why don't I have a gift? Why don't I have a talent? Like, what am I here for? I always heard that if I'm here, I'm ordained by God with purpose. But what is my purpose? And so I started to really pray and ask for God to reveal it to me, to give it to me. And so God spoke to me louder than he's ever spoke to me before in my life. He said, I gave you the gift of speech. I gave you the gift of words. Your words are going to call people to action, and your words are going to help people to walk into their purpose. So here I am. I've been a talker. In grade school, the teacher had a question. I'm the first one I want to talk. And I run my mouth. I'm on the phone for hours, but I never thought there was anything of importance. I never thought it was me being gifted and being able to talk. So that blew my mind that I had it the whole time and I had no idea. So I was like, okay, great, got the vision. I'm going to start a blog. I'm going to do some videos. So you see, December 2013, I created fiercefearlessfree.com. I bought the domain, but I didn't launch it until February 2014. What do you think happened in those 2 months? Fear, doubt, who's going to listen to me, who's going to talk to me. I'm telling my friends, I'm hyped up, I'm excited. They don't receive it, they reject it. They don't think, you don't have a social media following, you don't have people that follow you and talk to you. And so here I am, I shrink back. Because I was like, well, she's right, I don't know anybody. And why are they going to listen to me? Why are they going to read my blog? And one of the friends I shared my vision would use my business, Fierce Fearless Free, and I started to see it online. I started to see it out there, and that made me angry. Like, but God said I gave you the vision, and you weren't obedient. So I made a decision in February of 2014 that I was just going to do it. I didn't care who was using it. I didn't care who was talking about it, because nobody can do my purpose like me. Nobody can do my purpose like me. I went full force in Fierce Fearless Free. I started a blog, and nobody liked it. I started a blog, nobody shared it. They didn't comment, but I kept blogging because I was believing that somebody was going to like and share that blog. I was believing that somebody was going to comment. And from that little blog, one person liked it. 2 people liked it. People started reading the blog. Then they started reaching out to me for radio interviews, blog talk radio interviews. An actual physical radio station in Memphis asked me to come in, which led to me being asked to speak. So I turned into a motivational speaker from a blog. Then it led to me saying, hey, I'm going to do some T-shirts. I'm going to do it in a fashionable, trendy way. And so I launched a T-shirt boutique. I don't know why. I said, well, if people start wearing T-shirts, then people start asking, what's Fierce Fearless Free? So I launched the T-shirt boutique. That turned into me doing coaching. Now people's like, I want to know what you did. So now I'm coaching people, I'm mentoring people, I'm doing events, which turned into me being a writer. So now I'm writing a book, all from the gift of words, the gift of speech, all from something I didn't even know I had. So the purpose of that is just to say, keep going. Like, to figure out what your gifts and your talents are. It doesn't matter who likes it. It doesn't matter who cares what you do. It doesn't matter who supports it. Keep going until somebody else shows up. Because the person that you're looking for is looking for you. And that was something that I had to really, really discover within myself. So I believe in affirming, declaring and decreeing things into my life. I enter every event, everywhere I go. I expect the unexpected. So if you don't mind, I want to read an affirmation, but I want you to help me. So I want you to repeat after me. I am fierce, fearless, and free.
I am fierce, fearless, and free.
Everything and everyone prospers me now.
Everything and everyone prospers me now.
Wealth, happiness, and abundance.
Wealth, happiness, and abundance
Flows to me every day and in every way.
flows to me every day in every way.
I commit to massive action.
I commit to massive action.
And favor keeps showing up for me.
And favor keeps showing up for me.
I declare and decree ultimate success.
I declare and decree ultimate success
Right now,
right now,
no matter what it looks like.
no matter what it looks like.
My life is full of divine connections
My life is full of divine connections
and relationships that flourish my life daily.
and relationships that flourish my life daily.
I appreciate the success,
I appreciate the success,
love, and financial increase
and financial increase
in my life.
in my life.
Thank you, God.
Thank you, God.
It's done. Show me.
Show me.
So you see how that made you feel when you spoke that into your life? So now you don't know what is coming up after me, but all you know is you receive it. So I declare and decree that you start writing affirmations right now, and you speak into your life until things start to show up. So even though I have a women empowerment blog, anybody that joins my VIP email list, they get a free download from me about affirmations. Because I understand the power of tongue, and I understand the power of speaking things into your life and attaching the emotion to it to where you believe it, you can conceive it, and you can actually achieve it. So I'm going to give you 10 keys to unleash your fears. Your fear factor is that thing that's stuck inside of you that's stopping you from getting to the next level. So these are some actual actions that I implemented into my life that helped me to see my vision and actually helped me accomplish it. So the first thing that I think is very important is attaching your why to whatever it is that you're doing. And so it doesn't matter what I'm talking on or what the subject is. I always say you have to identify what is your why. Why are you doing your business? Why are you staying up late? Why are you working 2 jobs? Is it for your kids? Is it for your family? Is it because you want to break the cycle of poverty in your family? Is it because you have a sick parent or a sick child that if you do not make extra money, you can't care for them? Whatever the why is, you need to write it down several times, place it up in your home, your office, your car, wherever it is that you spend most of your time. So when you get tired, you want to quit, when it just doesn't feel good, when the enemy attacks, you have something in front of you to stop you from quitting. I guarantee you, if you're getting ready to lose your home, If you write down, I'm getting ready to lose my home on an index card and you place it in front of you with a house with eviction written across it, you won't quit. I guarantee you if you have a sick parent and that's your why as to why you have to make this business happen, not now, but right now you see your parents in front of you, you won't quit. So whatever it is, put it in your environment. Don't forget it, and I guarantee you it will drive you. Now, number 2, write the vision and make it plain. So you need to really figure out what it is that you want. A lot of people say, I want entrepreneurs and I want to do this and the other, but they don't really understand what it is that they really want. And then you need to figure out when do you want it. Once you figure out what that it thing is, when. A lot of people don't attach a deadline to anything. And you're forever dreaming. You're forever wanting things and you never ever accomplish it. Another thing you need to think about, what does it take to get it? I hear people all the time, especially in the entrepreneur environments, I want to make $50,000 in a month. I want to make $100,000 in a month. But you're not really crunching the numbers to see what it takes to get that. How many clients do you need? How many products do you need to sell? How many services do you need to create? How many cold calls do you need to create to do that? So you need to sit down and figure out what it takes to actually get the results that you want. What are your known obstacles and how can you overcome them? You're going to hit roadblocks. Some things are going to be unexpected and you can't tackle those. But some of them you know in advance. If you do your research in your industry, you know some of the things that people face. If you read or Google, you can figure out some of the things, whether it's zoning, is it parking, is it that it's a high traffic area and people have trouble getting in and out. You need to figure out what the known obstacles are and then actually figure out how you're going to figure those things out. Now, this is going to go against what a lot of people teach on. Don't be realistic. A lot of people say be realistic in your goals, and I think that's just not fair. You limit your dreams and your goals. If you shoot for the moon and land amongst the stars, then what did you have to lose? You stretched yourself. See, it's not realistic to think that I can walk up to the light switch and flip it up and then think the lights will come on. That's not realistic, but somebody did not think realistically, and we have electricity. See, it's not realistic to think that you can fold up a piece of metal, put people on it, fly from city to city, state to state, but somebody did not think realistically, and now we have airplanes. So every invention in the world that we have is because somebody did not think realistically. So I always say dream big. If God gave you the vision and he said that this is what your business is, I encourage you to go with it and just keep working until you actually accomplish that goal. Stretch yourself. 3, create a vision environment. So I'm like the queen of vision boards. Actually, I take it a little bit deeper. I do vision walls, I do vision environments, I do vision houses. See, I think it's really important to actually visualize yourself having the things. And that's the problem. People write down these things in these cute pictures, but they don't resonate with them. They don't believe it. They don't put it up in an environment. They don't create the emotion that it requires to actually accomplish your goals. So I encourage you to print out pictures of your dreams and goals and put them all over your house. Guys, when you walk into my house, the first thing you see is the logo of Fierce, Fearless, Free. Then when you walk down the stairs, you're seeing scriptures, you're seeing quotes, you're seeing my dreams and my goals. You're seeing the family that I want. You're seeing the house that I want. You see the kids that I don't even have yet because I'm manifesting those things into my life. You can't go to the refrigerator and think that you're not going to see my business plan for Fierce, Fearless, Free, speaking engagements for Fierce, Fearless, Free, paid speaking engagements for Fierce, Fearless, Free. You go over to the stove, you can't turn the stove on without seeing the other things that I'm going to implement in my business, the book that I'm going to write, the book that's coming out, the program that's coming out today that I'm going to tell you about is all over my environment. Guys, I can't go to the mirror and look in the mirror and even see myself in the morning without saying my personal affirmation statement. I speak wealth and abundance into my life. New people come into my life and wealth and abundance flows to me easily and fluently. It's in my mirror. I can't help but see it. TV, you can't cut on the TV in my house and see the picture. You're going to see the house, the Bentley that I want. You're going to see exactly what my vacation and my travel life looks like. You don't see anything but my vision at home because that's why it's coming to pass, because that's all I see. That's all I feel within me. You get in the car, you're not going to hear the radio. You're going to hear audio books. You're going to hear the things that take me to the next level. You go to my job, and again, that's a temporary situation. You go to my job and you see checks. It's a $1 bill, but I've added so many zeros to it, I don't even know what number it is. People come into my office and they think I'm crazy, but they're going to really wish they were just as crazy as I am when I manifest those things. So if you want a Bentley, you want a Mercedes-Benz, and you drive a Ford Focus, you need to cut out an emblem of a Mercedes-Benz and place it on your steering wheel. So every time you hop into that Ford Focus, the only thing you're thinking about is Mercedes-Benz. Like, it sounds crazy, but it works. That's the only thing you think about. And when you become obsessed with something, that's when you actually receive it. So number 3, create a vision environment. Oh, another thing, make sure your vision is visible. A lot of people create vision boards. You ever created a vision board? Yeah, it's somewhere. Like if your vision is not visible, then you will never ever accomplish it. Okay, everyone will not understand your dreams and your goals. See, this is where people get mad at entrepreneurship, and you get mad and you stop talking to your friends and your family. And you have to understand that a lot of times they're not going to get it. When you share with them, they're not going to be as excited because God did not give them a vision. Their vision is distorted. They don't get it. They can't get it because it was given to you. So I encourage you not to get upset and not to lose friends because not everybody is going to support you. Not everybody is going to see the importance of just sowing into your vision. But I guarantee you that the person you're looking for is really looking for you. And you have to keep going, and you have to go through the no's. You have to go through the rejection to actually receive it. Okay, pay the price. This is really important. And it's another place where a lot of people get stuck. They don't want to invest the money. Like we spend a lot of time investing in food and going out. When I started evaluating how much I was spending every weekend on going out and just eating stuff that was gone after that particular day, shoes and purses and trips, all this stuff that wasn't sewing into my purpose. But when it comes to books and audio programs, people cringe when it comes to investing in that. I'll hop on a plane and get in the car. I just left Orlando last week just to go to a conference. You know, I go to Atlanta. I go wherever it is that I need to be to soak in the knowledge that I need to take my clients and my business to the next level. So when you see an audio program that's $1,000, $2,000, don't be afraid to invest in that. That equates to return on investment. So that's why I want a lot of people to stop getting stuck and create a library, get audio books. Don't be afraid to hire a coach. I spent a large part of my business trying to be the marketing director, trying to be the PR person, trying to write copy, trying to do every single thing that I just don't know how to do. That just was not my gift. That was not my purpose and what I'm here for. But somebody else was here and put on earth to create your sales copy, to be your editor, to be whoever. So hire the person that knows how to do it so you won't spend all your time researching. You know how long it takes to research, learn how to do something, and then implement? Hire the person that knows how to do it. Seminars and conferences, don't just stay in your zip code. Feel free to get in a car and drive somewhere. Get a group of girls, get in a car and go somewhere and listen to the person that's supposed to deliver you from the situation that you are in. So I believe in it. I don't care how much it costs. Sometimes you just have to make the sacrifice and let it be a little tight to get to where you need to be. Okay, get around, get it, girls. This is so important. See, a lot of times you share your vision and your goals with people, they can't receive it because they're small-minded. They're not meant to receive it. So you're going to have to introduce some new people into your environment. Get it, girls. I also call them purpose partners. They get you. They get vision. They get mission. They get purpose. They get entrepreneurship. They just get it. They are very encouraging people, motivators. They're your assistants in success. These are the people that are going to help you get to the next level. They won't let you quit. They're so successful that you are uncomfortable, but that it calls you to step up to the plate. See, a get it girl is the person that when you says that, I don't have enough time, well, you have enough time that Beyonce has, or it's too hard, I can't do it. If there's no struggle, there's no progress. They have a comeback to everything that you have to say. The get it girl is the person that you call on the phone and say, I just left the Women Empowerment Conference. I'm going to the top. 2015 is my year. I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to make six figures. I will. And at the end of that conversation, they say, you better get it, girl. That is who you need in your life. That is who you need in your life. Okay, be self-inspired. So yes, the conferences are important, getting girls are important, but you're going to have to get to a point where you can get in the room by yourself and you can pump yourself up. It's going to be some times where these getting girls are working on their business or life hits them. You're going to have to be in a situation where you can get a room and you can show gratitude and you can scream and shout and you can tell yourself you can do it and you can actually take action. That was something I had to learn. Stop saying that you needed that event. Stop saying you so happy you went because now you can go to the next level. No, you didn't. You had the power to pump yourself up the entire time. Number 8, do what's necessary. So you're going to have to make some sacrifices. And that's the hard part. The season of separation. I still do not watch TV to this day. So Empire, all the stuff that's on, I just have no idea. I hear about it because of social media, but I don't watch it because I took a season of separation from TV. Reality TV shows, videos and stuff, that negative stuff, garbage in, garbage out. That's the stuff that you're soaking in. So you're going to have to take a season of separation. And the good thing about season is it's just a season. You don't have to do it forever. Accomplish your goals so you can do whatever you want to because you're on your own time. Radio, get some audio books. Tune out some of that stuff. Even if it's not every day, all day, say 2 hours out of the day, I'm going to listen to this. telephone, sit on the phone gossiping, talking about people being unproductive, that gets you nowhere. So I had to learn how to say, girl, I can't talk to you right now. And I started getting off the phone, and people started realizing that, hey, can't talk to Melody, she's busy. And that's important. And then you need to think about, are you the Beyonce in the group? So you are the average of the people that you hang around. And if you're the Beyonce in the group, you're motivating, you're empowering, you're inspiring other people, but nobody's feeding into you. So you need to start thinking about what group you're in and get into a group of people that can feed and empower you. Plan your work, plan your work, and work your plan. So it's important to know what's going to happen in your day before it happens. So you saw people January 1, 2015 writing their New Year's resolutions. Why? It's already started. So you need to sit down and plan your day, but there's certain things that I think should be in your day. One thing I think is important is to have some type of spiritual component in the morning where there's affirmations, devotions, quiet time. I actually set an alarm every day at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. And I pray throughout the day, but to be quiet, to be still, to meditate, to think. And I think it's really important to have that in your day. Speak into your life. Write your affirmations. Personal development. Whether it's a chapter a day, 30 minutes a day, an hour a day. Read some type of book or feed your mind and cultivate your mind. Ladies, it's really important to prepare your wardrobe. You know how you feel when you have on a new outfit and new makeup and all that stuff? Why wait till you just get something new? Create that feeling for yourself every day. It increases your posture. It helps you speak better. It helps you really to have a great presence when you walk into a room. So I encourage you to prepare your wardrobe and get dressed each and every day. Review your action plan for the next day. You should know everything that's going to happen in your day the next day. You should never say, I got off task or that came up, because you know what's going to happen in your day. So make sure you're planning out the different steps in your day. Get one of those things that break the day down in 30-minute increments so you know what's going to happen. Then spend some time with gratitude. You should end your day saying some things that you're thankful for. You know, no matter how big, even if it's just waking up that day, some type of success, something good happened to you that day because you made it home, and you need to really reflect on that. So get a journal, even if you start writing those things out, just spend some time saying I'm thankful. Number 10, reward yourself. I think it's important to come up for air. A lot of people say grind, 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 and don't come up for air, and I don't believe that's necessary. I think that if you set reward systems for yourself, then you can take a break. If I accomplish a certain goal, I deserve to go to the spa. I deserve to go to the mall. I deserve to go out to eat and to the movies. So I think it's important to really, really set that up for yourself, that if you really stick to it and do what you're supposed to do, take some time out before you get burnt out. People get burnt out and quit, and they never start again. I spent a large chunk of my life just going, and I ended up missing important things in my life. I ended up tired. I ended up being very unproductive for several months. So I think it's important to set reward systems for yourself. So recap. It's really, really important to get to the next level, but you can't get to the next level if you're not clear on where you're going. So you need clarity. You need to really spend some time with your gifts and your talents, because a lot of people have businesses that they're not really necessarily their gifts and their talents. There's some things that you were born to do and you can do without special education and training. And those are considered like your lowest hanging fruit, things that you can start immediately and start making money off of. So you need to figure out what your true gifts and your talents are. Identify and acknowledge your fear. See, a lot of people haven't gone to the next level because it's some type of fear or something that's holding them back. It may be some hurt there. It may be, hey, I spent this money to get here. Now I got to spend 10 times more money. Whatever the fear is, you need to figure out what it is and acknowledge it so you can move forward. Create a plan. You have to have a plan of action to know what you're going to do, or you will be ignorant on fire going crazy, like doing nothing. So have a plan. Make the investment. It takes a time commitment to doing your dreams and your goals. It takes hours out of your day, but make the commitment. Pay the money, invest in whoever it is you need to invest in, the programs, the coaching, whatever it is that you need to get to the next level, and just do it. Just do it. And that was the thing that I had to say, I'm just going to do it. Because you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. And that was something really important that I had to understand, that I don't have to know the in-between A to Z. I just need to know I'm at A and I need to get to Z. And all that other stuff gets ordered along the way. So somebody told me that you just got to show up for yourself. Like sometimes, you know, your why doesn't have to be for other people. Sometimes it can just be for you because you want it and you need it and you deserve it. So you have to show up to go up to blow up. And that stuck with me so long that I put it on every single thing that I've ever had. Show up to go up to blow up, because it's so true. So what I've done over the past year, I've listened to my followers. I've listened to what people have told me that they were trouble with, and a lot of it is fear. A lot of people have some things in their life that they need to remove. A lot of people need to step back into their past and acknowledge what happened so they can move into their future. A lot of people don't even know their gifts and talents, and they were just like me. So I took everything that I heard from other people, and I created a program of my story, how I got from no business under a year ago, and how I got from blogging to speaking engagements to coaching to movement. And I have some other big projects that I can't release yet, but they're coming. And I created From Lost to Boss. And it's a whole program that I poured my heart into on how to overcome fear, how to discover your God-given purpose, like some exercises to help you really to get from where you are to get to the next level. Just everything that I've done over the last year to get me to where I am. And I just took every feedback, every struggle that I heard my followers have, and I grouped it into a program. It's going to launch on the anniversary of my blog, which is February the 5th, 2015. So I'm excited to hit that 1 year in my business. And it's going to market for $97, but I'm going to sell it today for $47 to where you get the download, the audio download, the workbook that takes you through exercises. You're going to get daily affirmations that speak to all areas of your life. And you're also going to get the Fierce Fearless Free t-shirt, all for $47. And the t-shirts retail for $25. So you're just paying an extra $20-something and you get the whole bundle deal for anybody that purchases today for the release that's going to come out in February. So I hope that I answered questions. I hope that I solved some type of problem, or at least gave you some type of inspiration to take your business to the next level. So if you have any questions, well, does anybody have questions now? No? Well, feel free to stop by my table and let me know if you have any questions, whether it's just to sign up for my VIP email list that's free, the t-shirts, the bundle package, whatever it is. Definitely stop by and see me before you leave. Thank you.
It's a pleasure to be here. I spoke with Operation Stand Down, Renee's other passion, last month, and she must have heard something she liked, so she asked me if I'd speak to you. I left the PowerPoint slides at home. I'd like to just talk about this brochure that I brought along so that you've got a takeaway to remember us by. SCORE has been around for 50 years. We are a resource of the Small Business Administration, and they refer clients to us that need help in either starting or growing a business. I'd say that the clients that we get, 50% of them are thinking about starting a business but are clueless on how to get started. And the other 50% are in business but they're struggling because they started the business and then they said, oh, maybe I should form a corporation. Maybe I should register with the state. Maybe I should pay taxes. Maybe I don't know how to market my products. Right now I've got a lot of clients that they go to flea markets and they put that stuff out on the table and people come by and they buy it and then they go away and they've made enough money to maybe visit Kroger's one time, and that's it. They don't make enough doing that sort of thing to support a family and make a living at it. So they come to us and say, what's the next step? How can I grow my business? How can I do more than I'm doing now? So what we offer is free counseling and mentoring for anybody that needs it. It can be somebody in business. It can be somebody that's thinking about starting a business. It can be somebody that's halfway through starting a business and now needs some help to get over the hump to get there. So if you know of somebody, because this is all word of mouth, not many people know about us, but we are very, very good at what we do. SCORE used to be known as the Service Corps of Retired Executives. So most of our counselors are retired. They've worked in business in some form or fashion for 30 to 60 years, and when they retired, they said, I want to do something else. I want to volunteer. How can I help? And so they come to us, and we put them through a training program. We educate them on how to counsel. We educate them on resources available from either SCORE or from the Small Business Administration. We require them to attend all of our classes so they know what information is available to clients. And once they go through and they learn everything about what we do and how we do it, then they become a SCORE counselor and they get a fancy badge and a business card. But all the counseling, all the mentoring is free. So if you know of somebody that needs help starting or growing a business, share this website on the back page with them, scorenashville.org. If you go there, you'll see several drop-down menus, but right in the middle of the page, it'll say sign up for counseling. And if you click on that and put in your personal information, somebody will contact you to arrange to meet with you and talk about what your needs are. If you do go there and register, it's best that you fill in the blanks. There's a little paragraph section. Be specific on what kind of help you need. Because when we assign clients, we try to match up clients' needs with counselor expertise. So if somebody puts in there, I really need help with sales and marketing, I know how to make a great product, but I don't know how to get it out there, I don't know how to market it, I don't know. Should I hire sales reps? Should I try to partner up with Whole Foods or Kroger's if it's a food item? What should I do? We'll try to match you up with somebody that's got either a sales and marketing background or a retail background that can help push you in the right direction for growing your business. We also offer low-cost workshops. Most of them are on Saturday mornings from 9 to 12. You can register online. You go to our website. You click on workshops. There's a drop-down menu that says workshop calendar. And you can look at that calendar and you can see what workshops are being offered when. You can click on the hyperlink and it'll tell you basically what the workshop is about. And if that workshop would benefit you, I would encourage you to sign up. If you go ahead and register online, the cost is $25 for a 3-hour workshop. If you register but indicate that you want to pay at the door, we'll hit you up for an extra $5. So it's $25 pre-register, $30 at the door. They're very good. I've attended all of them. I've taught some of them. The list of workshops on this card has grown. There's more workshops offered now than we offered when we printed up this brochure. We offer workshops on how to start a business, how to grow a business, how to write a business plan. If you're going to start a business, you really need a business plan. If you're going to borrow money, you have to have a business plan. And to have a complete business plan, you have to develop the financial projections, which is the back part or the second part of the business plan. That's your income statement, your balance sheet, and your cash flow statement. We offer a separate workshop just on the financial side, on how to understand and how to develop those financial projections. Because loans are very tight these days. Most banks that will lend you money, whether it's an SBA loan or just a commercial loan, will want some form of collateral. Many people are unwilling to put up their house as collateral. And I don't blame them. I wouldn't do it. Because if the business fails, the house goes. So there are other loans that are available. They're called microloans. And they're small dollar value. They're like $5,000 to $50,000. And those loans are non-collateral loans that are issued by certain banks. And your SCORE counselor can tell you which banks those are. But those are based solely on your credit score. If you've got a good credit score with very little, if any, outstanding credit card balances, your chances are favorable to getting a loan. So, collateral loans, non-collateral loans. SBA loans, SBA does not lend money. The SBA provides the, they back loans. You have to go through a financial institution like a bank to get an SBA loan. So they will, the banks, if you go to Fifth Third Bank, for example, that was up here a minute ago, or if you go to Regions Bank, or if you go to U.S. Bank, they all have good loan departments. We have a couple of SCORE members that work for those organizations. They will talk to you, they will listen to you, but they won't do that unless you've got a good, solid business plan with financial projections and a greater than zero chance of succeeding. One of my clients last year wanted to start a brew pub over in Hermitage. The reason he wanted to start a brew pub was because he and his friend learned how to brew beer in their garage. So they are an expert now. They know how to brew beer in their garage. They've never run a business. They've never run a restaurant. And they only needed $1 million to get started. Obviously, they are not in business yet. And they didn't want to put their homes up as collateral either, you know. So there are creative ways to get loans. There are different types of loans. We had a guy from Fifth Third that spoke to our group 2 or 3 months ago about how they creatively put together a loan package for somebody that had a good business plan that looked like they had a greater than 50% chance of success. So the bank gave them a loan for X dollars based on the collateral of the equipment they had to buy to put the restaurant together. You know, the ovens, the kitchen, you know, the stoves and all that stuff, the refrigerators. They gave them so much based on the fact that they at least had some collateral to support the loan. And then they went to what's known as a small business development center, which is another extension of the SBA, and they got them additional monies for inventory. So there are creative ways to get money, but it is not easy in this day and time. Most people we encourage to start small and grow from there. But we also encourage them to get free counseling from SCORE and to take our workshops. $25 investment for 3 or 4 workshops to get you going, to get your mind in the right place, to help you develop a business model on what this business is going to look like. We encourage people in several of our workshops to go through the SWOT analysis. Does anybody know what SWOT stands for? Threats, opportunities. Threats, opportunities. Yes. That's where you evaluate your internal and your external factors of this business. Who are your competitors? What is your strength? What is your weakness? What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? Who's your competition? Where are they located? Are they next door? That's not a good thing. Most people that want to open a coffee shop want to put it in a place where there's not 3 or 4 other coffee shops, for example. But take this brochure back with you, not only for your benefit, but share it. If you've got a friend or a neighbor that could benefit from SCORE, Renee's got extra brochures back there. Pick up an extra brochure and give them one. I've never worked for a volunteer organization that does more good. And sometimes the good is listening to somebody and just being honest with them and telling them, I don't think you should do this. Your chances are not favorable for success. Sometimes people need to hear that before they've invested a lot of their own money into it. I've got one lady that I would have told that to, but she went ahead and bought a food business off of Craigslist. Now, would you go buy a business off of Craigslist? You might buy a used refrigerator, a used car, a set of drums, but is that where you'd go to look for a business?
No.
Anybody that's advertising a business on Craigslist is desperate. But lots of good information. Go to our website, look at the workshop calendars. If there's workshops being given that you could use, by all means, take them. We also offer some free workshops. There is a free workshop this month on Monday the 26th on email marketing. That is another way to grow your business. It's being taught by a guy that's an expert in constant contact and how to utilize the contacts, your customer base, how to utilize those to grow your business. We've got another workshop next month that's free. It's on loans and financing. It's going to be taught by SBA and myself. I didn't sign up to be an instructor, but the SBA guy put me down as an assistant instructor, so I guess I will be an instructor for that class. But those are free. So we offer these email and social media marketing workshops about every other month. They're free. And next month we'll offer the loans and financing workshop, and it's free. Do you have any questions? Yes, ma'am.
Many moons ago,
Yes?
working at a program called through the federal government, CEDAR program.
Uh-huh.
I was one of the co-directors for an activist youth program. We had members from the SBA come in to tutor the children, the kids at high school there. And we still have those services?
SBA has a lot of services. What I tell clients, if you're in business, if you need help in your business, or if you're thinking about starting a business, I encourage my clients to do at least 4 things. 1, sign up for free counseling. Number 2, when you go to our workshop, about down near the bottom, there's a thing that says sign up for our free newsletters. Sign up for our newsletters. If you do that, you will get notices from us on when we're giving the classes as a reminder that if you want to take this class, you need to go ahead and sign up. So you'll get reminders on it. You'll get a newsletter at the beginning of the month, which not only has the newsletter, the workshop schedule, but it has other useful information. Number 2, go to the SBA.gov website. Sign up for their newsletter or webinars. Whatever, they've got a thing where you can click to sign up. It's either for newsletters, webinars, or both. But they will notify you when there's free webinars being offered on your computer. Those are free. If it's something you're interested in, sign up for it. If it's something you're not, don't worry about it. But they'll keep you posted on free information and free webinars. Number 3, go to the score.org website, not Score Nashville, score.org. That's our parent company.
Okay.
Sign up for their newsletters. They partner with AARP. They partner with UPS. They partner with Paychecks and a number of other companies, and they offer free webinars and free information. Whether it's a white paper that'll give you information on a specific topic, or whether it's a free webinar, if you sign up on all 3 of those websites, you will get dropped in your email box from time to time information you can use, and if it's not something you can use, just delete it. But it's all free. Our office is located over on off of Briley. If everybody knows where the big gold building is over there, we're right next door to the SBA office on the 5th floor. People, and anybody, yourself or any of your friends, can walk in there Monday through Friday between 9 and noon for free counseling or to talk to a counselor. We always have somebody on duty there between 9 and noon. So a lot of good services, all volunteer. And I wish you the best.
Thank you. Give me a round of applause. Thank you. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Well, just listening to everybody gets me excited because it takes me back to remembering a lot of the ways, I got started hearing how you guys are doing things and everything. And I want to kind of tag off of what Mike said, Mike Moody said, and then Renee also about SCORE and how he told her to work, in that field first. And she was like, oh. And I want to kind of compare that to my son, my 17-year-old son. He's going to be 18 next week, actually. And many of you will find what it is that you're looking for by what you've already been doing and that field that you're in. My son, when he was 15, he actually started his own business repairing cell phones and things on the side for himself. And I'll talk a little bit more about him throughout the presentation because the way he got started is very important. But then he actually went to work becoming manager of a cell phone business, teaching their employees how to repair phones. He went all the way to manager. He did all their hiring, all their process of that. He just last week, I'm so excited for him, just this last week has quit that job because he's opening his own retail store. And so he has done so well financially. And so it's been an amazing thing. But what he did is he found his purpose. So there's a couple things that I want you to write down, first of all. Number one, your purpose equals your provision. When you find your purpose, that is where your provision is. Okay? So that's very important to keep that focus. Where your purpose is, your provision is. Okay? Now, another key thing important to understand is that your purpose is progressive, okay? And so I want you to write down patience plus principle equals progressive purpose. Now I'm going to explain what that means, okay? Patience plus principle equal progressive purpose, okay? Basically, what we're talking about here is you can learn a lot of things today. You're going to learn a lot of principles, a lot of things that work. You're going to learn a lot of things from other people who have done it successfully. Those are your principles. But you have to apply that with patience because God has a direction for you. And you're going to hear a lot of scripture throughout my presentation. My presentation is 100% from my experience, and my experience and how I've got where I am is no more than God's favor and what God's done through my life. And so you'll hear a lot of that because I believe He is the key to getting us where we need to be. However, He works with each of us differently. So that patience level has to be in there because you may look around at all these people and they're doing great things and you go, oh wow, your son did this, or you hear a story over here, somebody said something and you go, wow, I want to do that. But you got to be patient. You got to know that God gets you there one step at a time, and He's going to take you through the things that you need to go through and the experiences you need to experience to be the very best that you can be for His glory. Okay, that's number one. That's what your purpose is for His glory, number one. Then it's to bless your life, and then it's to bless the lives of others. Okay, so that's a very important order there. So do not compare yourself, is my important information to you here, is do not compare yourself to everyone else saying, boy, I wish I could do that, or maybe they've got this, or you hear somebody has a degree and maybe you don't have that degree. We can many times get trapped by those things, okay? And my story comes from homelessness, as I mentioned in the beginning, all the way to producing these products and seeing my children go forth too. So your past and your present do not determine your future, okay? Your patience applied with your principle will be your progressive purpose, which will equal your provision, okay? So very important that you remember those things. I'm going to mention my son, one other thing he does, and I just kind of want to show you. He's also a graphics designer, and he designs graphics designs and also your logos and things. He does a good job on doing things like that. So he has found multiple ways to make money, which we will talk about those multiple ways. So let me get my timer set because I did forget to do that because I will get to talking, and then here we go. And so we want to stay on target here because I have a passion about what I do, and that's important that you have passion for what it is that you plan on doing. Okay. All right, we're going to go. All right, we're good to go. Okay, so I'm going to talk about 10 steps to launching your business. Ready, set, launch. How do you get ready? Okay, so let's talk about getting ready first. Oops, turn it on here. Okay, now a lot of this you're going to hear what that Melody's talked about too, being fierce and fearless and moving forward like that. So some of it is going to overlap a bit, but it's a good thing to hear it over and over again, sometimes to get that implanted in your mind. So number one, you're going to invest in your spiritual life. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on what Melody talked. She did a fantastic job of getting all that information out there. So we're just going to refresh a little bit and keep that going. But it says she girds herself with strength spiritually, okay? Notice that, spiritually, mentally and physical fitness for her God-given task and makes her arms strong and firm. Spiritually, number one, you've got to get your spiritual together and in control and know the direction you're headed based upon the direction God gives you. It creates positive thinking. It stretches your time. It brings out the best in others, okay? If you're positive, is it not going to bring out positive in other people? If you're negative, how often do people shy away, okay? So many times we have to understand this, that it's going to bring out the best in other people as well. And it helps you deal with business challenges, okay? You're going to have business challenge. My 21-year-old, he's hit some business challenge. He's a videographer, and everybody's going to hit these. My 17-year-old, he's hit those business challenges too. But how do you deal with that? Conflict resolution. You have your spiritual investment in place, okay? So those things are going to be faced in any business. You're going to have conflicting challenges with customers. You're not going to please 100% of the people 100% of the time. That's just not going to happen. You can do everything in your power to do it, but there's always going to be some type of conflict, and many times you'll give up if your spiritual investment is not in place, okay? You have to know who you are and that you were called to do what you're doing, okay? You have to have that confidence whether anybody stands with you or not, and Melody talked about that. Number two, continuing education. This is your mental strength here, okay? She girds herself with strength, again, mentally for her God-given task, okay? You have to have some continuing education. Educate yourself on these things that you're wanting to do. Learn all you can about them, okay? My son is actually, he's learning so many more things. Like I said, he did his graphics design and those type of things, but he's investing in himself. When he got started, he spent 17 hours on the internet researching what he was going to do to fix his cell phone. He figured that out, he repaired his own cell phone, and then went into business actually repairing phones, laptops, iPads, all these things for other people, okay? But he spent 17 hours in continuing education figuring out how to make it happen, okay? He educated himself on that. Next, we're going to look at this, some mental investments here that you can do. Now, these are some websites you might want to write down. I apologize that I do not have a handout for you. It slipped my mind, and it just didn't happen today. But you can write down these websites. You want to read success stories from other successful women. Again, when you get around other successful people and you hear from them, it empowers you, okay? Every one of you here are going to walk away empowered. Don't let that empowerment leave you, okay? Learn from it and put it in action and do something with it. Learn from these women. There's some great networking here. Talk to other women on the breaks. Get to know them. Experiences from them, what they have found to be successful and what works for them, okay? And then take that, write that down and say, okay, how can I incorporate this in my life? Checking out helpful websites. These are a lot of very good, helpful websites. They will help you to stay empowered, okay? They will give you advice and counsel on direction and places that you can go for the information that you need. And you've heard a lot of that already. You've heard from the Entrepreneur Center and the things they can do to help you. You've heard from SCORE, what they can do to help you. Kevin Williams from back here from Fifth Third. We've heard from Melody. Lots of people here that can help you, okay? Visit all these vendors. They've got information for you. They've got things that will help you progress, just like these websites here. Attending those seminars, workshops, and conferences. Learn about your needed skills, okay? Professional business correspondence. Now, I'm going to talk about professional business correspondence just a minute because how did I become a 5-year running bestseller? How did I do that? How did I get my products to be bestsellers? The correspondence that I made with those business companies, I had to understand what they were looking for, okay? And I had to understand to present professional portfolios with my books and my materials to get them to pick up my product. In the back of my workbook there that you see on this end, Exploding into Successful Entrepreneurship, I have templates of sample sales letters, sample press releases, sample business plans, and they're all based upon my business and what I've done. And they're broken down into sections to show you exactly what they are looking for in a sales letter, exactly what they're looking for in a press release, the things that you need to have in there for your professional business correspondence to get them to take your product. That's a very important part of marketing. Everything that I have submitted to Christian book distributors, they have picked up. Every book. And so that's been a great thing. That's been very exciting. But I learned what they were looking for. I knew how to contact them. I knew how to approach them. And so I have to know those things in order to get my things in there. So you have to have that. Verbal communication. the way you present yourself, what you ask for, the way you talk to people, it makes an impact. You will sell your product because you have a passion for that product or that service. No one can sell it like you. And you were talking about public speaking. You did great. You did phenomenal. You're going to be just fine. I can promise you that. I was so much more nervous than you, and I still get the butterflies, okay? I've been doing this since 2009, and I think I've done 500 or 600 presentations around the nation. I still get nervous, okay? That's a good thing. That's okay, because that keeps you going. It keeps you right up there and anxious and trusting more in God, and He will bring the glory out through that, okay? So it's important to just keep hanging in there, but your verbal communication is important. And the more you talk, the more you speak, the more you do it, the more empowered you get. You not only empower others, but you empower yourself, okay? And so that's important, and that passion comes through what you're talking about. Now let's talk about the investment in your physical health. The third part of this, she girds herself with strength, physical fitness, okay, physically. You need to take care of yourself physically, okay? If you're not at your best, you will not better your business, okay? If you stay up all night long trying to do things with your business and then you work all day, are you going to be mentally fresh? Are you going to be physically fresh? You're going to be worn out, okay? You have enough strength to do everything God needs you to do to be successful if you are balanced, okay? And that is balance physically as well. We must take care of ourselves. How do we do that? Exercise, eat healthy, take vitamins, proper sleep. Now, I look at all that, and you look at all that, and you go, I don't have time for all that. I know that because I've had to work through this myself, okay? Because it's easy to run through McDonald's when you have 10 appointments or you have all this going on. You know, I run through McDonald's plenty of times. I'm not feeling at my best, I promise you, okay? It's not good. One of the hardest things for me to do was the exercise, okay? I do not like to exercise. I had a note from the doctor for PE when I was in high school. I did not take PE class, okay? And so, I know that's funny, we laugh, but yes, I hate to exercise. I hate PE. But I tell you, a situation happened in my life with one of my kids who had gotten overweight and they had some problems with sugar and things like that. And I, as a homeschool teacher, I've homeschooled 18 years, I knew I had to help him. I had to do that. So how did I do that? By example. I had to get in there and exercise with him, okay? I was put in a position in my life where I knew that I had to step into that to help him out. And so I began to exercise with him. We actually got a gym membership and we went to the gym, and I made that a priority in my life, okay? And so yes, I fit that in as well. And so all of these things are very important so that we can stay physically fit. So this is the getting ready part, okay? Getting ready part of business. If you don't have these things in order, you're not going to be able to get set, which is that next part. You've got to work on these three things to get ready so that you can move forward into the next step. All right, let's take a look at number 4. We're going to deal with this next one, and this next one is going to take us, I believe, 4 through 8 are going to take us to get set to do business, okay? We're going to get set. So seeking your opportunity. She seeks out woolen flax and works with willing hands to develop it, okay? A couple things she's seeking out. You're going to have to look for it. You're going to have to look for your purpose. You're going to have to look for what it is you're called to do. And you have to be willing to do it and develop it. Okay, so let's take a look at some things here. Now, I love these 4 key things. Okay, I talk about these at every presentation because I have experienced these, I've walked through these, and this is how I got to where I'm at. These are the 4 areas I believe you can look for your purpose. Okay, need, hobby, frustration, and talent. What is it that you need in your life? Ask yourself that question. Be thinking about that. What do you need in your life? Now, for myself, let me give you an example. The one thing I needed as a homeschool teacher was I needed a daily planner to keep all my kids' records in, okay? They didn't have those when I started homeschooling 18 years ago. They had nothing like that. I could not keep all my kids' records in one book, and it was a fiasco for me. I felt very disorganized when I had several books here and there. So I created a planner to work for my family. And when I created that planner, I got to thinking, well, maybe if this works for me and I have a need for this, maybe somebody else might have that same need. So I stepped out on faith and said, okay, all right, I'm going to present this out there. I'm going to present this to the local bookstores, okay? So I took it to a local bookstore on a consignment agreement and said, would you be willing to take this book in and see if it actually, is something other people want? Well, they were willing to give it a shot. Now, granted, I didn't have a lot of money. You don't have to have a lot of money to make money. You can start where you're at, okay? I took it down to Kinko's. I got one copy of that actually put together. Was I going to make any money right away? I wasn't going to make anything right away. This was my test marketing. I was taking it out there and I was trying it, okay? It worked pretty well. They picked it up. It did great. They ordered more copies. I would take more in. Did I still make money? It took a while, okay? It takes a while because you want to grow slow and steady, okay, so that you can be in business years down the road, okay? You go too fast, it's going to come overwhelm you, and then you will not be able to hang in there and stay with it. So then I decided I would take it to Christian book distributors and present it to them. It's the biggest online book retailer, okay? So I thought, well, all right, I'm going to submit it to them. Now I want to tell you, during that time when I submitted it to them, I was homeless, okay? I did not have a home, and I was printing these. We actually were living in a tent at that time, okay? And I was just taking these and printing these and taking them down to Kinko's, printing a couple of copies. I was able to go down there, print one copy, and I put it in the mail and sent it to them. Kept calling them, calling the buying department saying, did you receive it? You know, what do you think? Da, da, da. Let us think about it. Let us think about it. A year span went by, okay? So I'm still thinking, okay, what if they take it? After I dropped it in the mail, I had a panic attack. So I said, what if they take it? I'm living in a tent. I can't do this. Well, we actually progressed up to a camper, which we lived in for 2 years, got a little tabletop printer, did all the correlating and all of that of the books, had all my pages lined out, did this in the top of a fifth wheel camper, okay? And so when they accepted this book, I thought, oh my goodness, how many are they going to order? Because when I talked to them on the phone, I was standing outside at a payphone. Now I'm telling my age, I know that. And so I was standing outside at a payphone, and it was raining, and semis were going by, and I'm talking to the head of Christian book distributors who's going to pick this book up, right? And he says, we're going to try it. I'm thinking, okay, he's going to try it. Now what do? I was panicking. I was thinking, how am I going to produce this? The first order came in of 10, okay? God's not going to put on you more than you can handle, okay? He's going to give you what you can handle. I could produce 10, didn't make a dime, but I could produce 10, and now it's on their website. It went to bestseller. Okay? And so it continued at bestseller and continued and continued and continued. It's now residual income for me. Thousands of those I sell a year. It's one of those products that everybody needs year after year after year after year. So think about that, okay? Something that somebody's going to have to rebuy every year, okay? That's something that would be a product that they're going to make residual income into you for. Okay, it's something that's going to benefit you. And so they took that. That was a need in my life. Look at this quote. I find out what the world needs, then I proceed to invent. Thomas Edison said that. Okay, what do you need? Okay, ask yourself, what do I need? What do I say I wish there was? Or, boy, wouldn't it be nice if there was this? Okay, what do you need? Second, a hobby. What is it you enjoy doing? Okay, what is your hobby? What do you like to do? What is that? Think about that. Write down a few things that are your hobbies, because many times your purpose is going to come right out of your hobbies, okay? Those are things that God has put in you that you enjoy doing. They're there for a purpose, okay? So your gift right here, your hobby, is this. I never did a day's work in my life. It was all fun. Wouldn't you like to enjoy your life and what you're doing? Okay, you may be in a career right now where you say, oh, I wish I could get out of this career. I don't believe that God wants us to go through every day being miserable where we're at. I believe that our purpose is to bring us pleasure as well. Okay, I believe He wants us to be happy where we're at. Every one of my kids are doing things that they absolutely enjoy. Sometimes I have to tell them to slow down and take a break from it because they enjoy it so much. All work and no play, right? We don't want to get in that place. But they enjoy what they do. Wouldn't it be nice if you got up every Monday morning and said, I love what I'm doing, okay? Instead of, oh, I have to go to work, okay? We want to enjoy our lives. So what is your hobby? What are those things you enjoy doing? Now, a frustration. Frustration is very, very important. This is the one that my 15-year-old at the time, when he started his business, turned into a great business, and now he's getting ready to open his own retail store. He's going to be contacting SCORE for some pointers. I'm going to hook him up there. But a frustration. He was so frustrated when his cell phone broke. So frustrated. He came to me and he said, Mom, we got to go down to Verizon and buy a new phone. As a good mom, we got to do these things sometimes, y'all. We have to say no. Okay? No. Had I went down to Verizon and bought him a new phone, would he be successful today? That no turned into many yeses down the road for him, many successes, okay? But he was so frustrated, okay? And that frustration is what drove him to his prosperity, to his purpose, okay? Because he said, he's not a quitter. He said, well, I'm not buying that. He said, I don't have a job. And his high aspirations at that time, let me tell you, he was going to be a bagger at Publix. Now, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I believed he had a bigger purpose than that, something that was going to provide for him financially. And so that frustration pushed him to the limits to where he began to research and find those resources to do something productive to change his situation. 17 hours later, he found his purpose. okay? And he began to walk in that purpose. So a frustration should never be something you look at and you say, well, I guess that's the end of the road, okay? That wall goes up. You need to go over that wall, okay? Many times we go left, we go right, we go everywhere but over, okay? And so we see a frustration and we go, oh, if this wasn't happening. Sometimes that's happening to push you into your purpose, okay? So look at your frustration like this. Discontent is the first necessity of progress, okay? When you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, when you say, you know what, something has to change, okay? I'm going to take those steps to change that. A talent. What is that is your talent? Your talent is what everybody volunteers you for because they know you're going to get the job done. You ever been volunteered for anything? I know y'all have, okay? That's your talent. They know you can do that job. They know you can get it done, okay? That is your talent. So those talents many times are things that can go to work for you to provide you income. So here's your quote on a talent. If men have the talent to invent new machines that put men out of work, they have the talent to put those men back to work. When your purpose and passion, where your purpose and passion are, prosperity will be found, as I said in the beginning. Very, very important. Now let's take a look at this. Number 5, we're still getting set here, okay? We're getting set to do business. Searching out multiple income sources. One income source is not enough, okay? Because there will be down seasons. My oldest, he's 26, he's a Metro Police officer now, but he ran a lawn care business from up until a couple years ago when he sold it out. He started when he was 16. And so he ran that during that time. But think about a lawn care business. Is he going to have year-round income from that? No, he's not. He needed multi-streams of income. How did he branch that out? Okay, he began to do fall cleanup. He began to do Christmas tree light hanging. He began to do different things to branch that out. We need multiple streams of income. God didn't give you just one talent or one purpose. I believe he gave you several things to put in place, and I'm going to show you that in just a second. But there's more than one thing in your life that's going to be productive and prosperous for you. She's like the merchant ship loaded with foodstuffs. She brings her household food from afar. She's bringing it in from different directions, okay? Not just one direction, but from multiple directions. Now let's take a look at this next slide here. All right, here we go. All right, this is the slide I want you to see. Okay, we're talking about those needs, those talents, those frustrations, those hobbies, okay? Now for myself, if you notice over there on the left, these were my needs, okay? I made organization planners out of my need. That creates income for me. A need is something you have, okay, like I said. Now look at the next part, a writer and a coach. These were my hobbies, okay? These were the things that I went to get other streams of income. I became a writer, an author, and let me say that everyone has a book inside them because everyone has a different story, okay? Your life is only lived by you. Okay? You have a story to tell and only you can tell it. So no matter what you're doing in your life right now, you've got a story inside you and a book waiting to happen. Okay? So you need to attend Renee's book publishing workshops because that is a phenomenal thing right there. A book will make you an expert in your field no matter what your field is. Okay? So everyone has a book inside them. So becoming a writer, becoming a coach, these were other areas where I was able to bring multiple streams of income. Then a coupon specialist, okay? That fell into my frustration area, okay? Kitchen storage, modest but sexy swimwear, unorganized closets, grocery overspending, okay? The grocery overspending part was the thing that drove me crazy. With 6 kids in the house, I was always spending too much money on food, okay? So I was looking for a way to save money. I became a coupon lady. I've been on Fox 17 News several times, and now that is one of the major sources of my income. I do a lot of coupon presentations around the nation. And so that's something where I teach people how to, with a balanced way, not becoming an extreme couponer, but saving money through minimum couponing, but maximizing your time and saving. I saved $800 a month off my grocery bill doing that, okay? That frustration drove me to the point that I found a resource that worked and I put it into my life to make it work for me. Then what did I do with that? I made products out of it, okay? I created books off of it. You'll see several books on my table, which was another source of income. So that was my frustration. I want to mention this one here, the modest but sexy swimwear, okay? We all want to look our best. There's a lady who's actually made a business out of that. She's got beautiful swimwear online. She's done phenomenal with that, okay? And so that was a frustration for her. She never could find anything that was beautiful and made her feel sexy, so she created her own line of swimwear And now she is an entrepreneur doing that, okay? So what are those things that frustrate you, okay? Beginning to think about those things that frustrate you, because you can do anything with that. People actually do kitchen storage. They come in and they will put together kitchen storage for you. They will come in and organize your closets, okay? These are frustrations that they had, so they put it to work for them. The talents, organizing, decorating. One of my talents I did not know I had when I was in junior high. Speaking was not what I consider a talent. It was a nightmare, okay, because I was scared to death to do it. I didn't want to get up and speak in front of people. I had to do a speech presentation for the class to actually graduate and get my credit in junior high school. And so I had to do this commercial. I built a cereal box as big as me so I could hide inside of it and do my speech so no one would see me. That's how I did it. So did I think that speaking was one of my talents at that time? No, I didn't, okay? But sometimes the very thing that you think you can't do is the thing that you're supposed to do, because God gets all the glory for that, okay? And so we need to think about that. So many times, that talent is hiding there, and it's something that you can do that will bring you money. So you see how all 4 of those areas brought multiple streams of income to me, okay? So I'm not just doing one thing, I'm branching out and doing multiple things. Now, number 6, make a plan and set goals, okay? She rises while it is yet night and gets food for her household and assigns her maid their tasks, okay? You need to make a plan and set goals. And Melody did touch on this, so I'm not really going to stay much on this. So let's just jump to the next slide here. Okay. I don't know if that battery'd hold out or not. We got to get it going here. Okay. All right, time management, and you notice the page numbers, those things are all in my book over there. That's where those page numbers are coming from. So all that is talked about in great detail in my book. But you need to know what your time management is, because again, you need to make time for everything. Maybe if there's something in your life and you're just running out of time, maybe it's something that you need to cut back on. It's something that maybe God doesn't want you doing right now, okay? Short-term, long-term goals, action-oriented, specific, time allotted, receiving mentorship, coaching, and training, okay? Plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed, okay? Get counsel from several people, okay? Today, while you're here, get counsel. Talk to different people, okay? There's many coaches and mentors here who can help you as well, okay? And so these are things that we need to do to get set to do business. Now, considering your business, okay, we're still getting set for that. She considers a new field before she buys it or accepts it. Don't dive right in, okay? You still are in the considering stages, okay? You need to consider what it is. Maybe you got all these ideas sparking off, and I see y'all writing down things, and that's awesome. Write down these ideas as they come to you. But now, how do you consider them to see if it is best for you to go into that? Let's take a look at some things. Running a report on your field, okay? What is the growth potential? You need to be asking yourself some of these questions. What is the growth potential of what I'm wanting to do, okay? Checking out that growth potential means things like checking out if your product is geographic specific. So what is the geographic area? What you're thinking about doing, will it prosper here where you're at? The internet's made that very easy for us because we can sell online anywhere, okay? But you need to figure out growth potential. You need to figure out if it is gender specific, okay? Is your product just need to be marketed to males or females or ages? Is there age groups that it needs to be marketed to? So what is the growth potential of that, okay? So the area that you're looking to market that. What is the demand for it, okay? Have you heard people saying, boy, I wish there was this, I wish there was that? Do you look around at other people maybe that are in the field that you're actually thinking about going into, and are they covered up all the time? Okay, I always use the example of the flower shop. If you're going to do, flowers and creating bouquets and all these different things, if they always have a waiting list and they're 1 week out to getting your project done, is there a demand for that? There's probably a demand for that. Okay, we have to look around sometimes at that competition, which is the next one. And success doesn't come from being 100% better than your competition, but from being 1% better in 100 different ways, okay? So think about the competition. You can learn a lot from your competition, okay? Your competition is not your enemy, okay? Your competition are the people you learn from, the people you work together with, the people you partner with, okay? These are not your competition where you can't make it. When I started doing the coupon classes, there were ladies teaching couponing. And I thought, why would I go into that? They're already successful. They're already doing that. That's because there's people that I can reach that they're not reaching, okay? We all have a target market area, and there's people that we can talk to like nobody else can talk to them, and God knows that. Just because somebody else is doing it doesn't mean you can't be successful at it too, okay? And so keep that in mind. Don't steer away from your competition, learn from your competition. Past successes, look at why it worked. Maybe you're thinking about doing something, you need to check it out. Why did it work, okay? Why didn't it work? Maybe I can improve on the areas where it didn't work, okay? So I need to improve these things. Your time investment, I talk about again. Business structure, you need to go to sba.gov and see what type of business structure you're going to set up. Nonprofit, sole proprietorship, LLC, what type of business partnership possibly, okay? My 17-year-old son, 18, I keep calling him 17, I'll probably do that forever even though he's almost 18. But he's going into possibly a partnership. He's trained this other young man that he's become very close with to do the same thing who has a great skill in that. So he's thinking about pulling him in for a partial partnership on that where they can both work together. So that's something else to consider there. Money investment. Does what you want to do need money, okay? Now again, I believe you can start from where you're at and you can move forward. You don't have to have money to make money. But something you may be needing to do, you may need to say, okay, well, I do need to print these books. How much will that cost me to print this amount, okay? And so you definitely do need to see what there is in a money investment, okay? Start small, but start, okay? Don't stay back here thinking you can't do it, okay? Take those little steps to get there. Determine your location. Melody talked about all this, so I'm not going to touch on it, but your road frontage and so forth. So let's get past that. Starting your business now. Now we're ready to launch, okay? We got ready, we got set, we're going to launch now. Starting your business, okay? She considers a new field before she buys or accepts it. We're at that accepts point, okay? We've done all our homework, we've got ready, we've got set, we're going to accept and start our business now. Remember this, ideas without action remain unleashed success, okay? They remain successes that do not happen, okay? They're those potential things that you could have done but you never did, okay? Those are those things you were afraid to do, okay? And I didn't talk about a lot of that. Melody talked about the fear. That's the number one thing that keeps us back. If I hadn't dropped those books in the mail for Christian book distributors, would they be carrying them now? Would they be a bestseller now? Fear could have very much kept me back saying, what if they order, okay? I had that thought after I dropped them in the mail, and I'm glad I did, okay? And so they made it. So we need to continue to step out of that fear and go forward, okay? Fear will keep us back. Now, your business startup, you need a name for your business, okay? You will need to name your business. You need to make a name that somebody's going to remember, that's going to say something, okay? I love Melody's name back there. That's not something you're going to forget, okay? That's something that has power in it, okay? That's definitely a good thing. Register your DBA, which is your doing business as, and get a business license. You can check the county clerk's office for this, and you see a website there, okay? But you will need a business license to start a business. You will need a tax ID number, okay? And this is where you can get that tax ID number. But you will have to have a tax ID number to file your taxes. Nonprofits work different than for-profits. I've got a for-profit publishing company. I've got a nonprofit and Haney Ministries, okay? They're completely different, okay? So I'm learning as I go. Believe me, I'm constantly learning new things. I didn't have all the answers before I started. I'm learning as I go. Did I make mistakes along the way? Yes. Do I still make mistakes? Yes. Does that keep me from going forward? No. Okay, I am going to continue on until I get this right 100%, right? So we're going to keep on going, we're constantly learning, and we'll learn from here on out. Obtain an EIN number if needed. This is your employee identification number. If you're going to employ people, you're going to have employees who work for you, you will need that, okay? You can go to irs.gov for this free service. LLCs, corporation partnerships, those will need it, partnerships. Sole proprietorships do not, okay? And so you need to look at that, an EIN number. Obtaining a logo on a website, that is just absolute. You have to have it these days. You got to have that website, okay? You have to have that on there, that presence, because that's where most of business is done, is through the internet now, okay? So you will need a website. Webs.com is a free website, okay? That is one of the free websites that you can actually just get your stuff up there and get it out there. You can always be adding to it. Just start somewhere. You don't have to have all your shopping cart and all your products and all that. Just get your website up there. Get your contact information up there. One thing that I find on many websites that is not there is a contact information. How do you get a hold of them? You can see all their stuff, and I mean, you'll go to page after page after page, and how frustrating that is to not find out how to contact them. Renee knows that. She's shaking her head. It'd drive you crazy. I don't know how many I've seen like that lately, especially lately. And I'm on there trying to figure out how to get a hold of these people, and I don't know. Have your contact information visible. Don't make them hunt for it, okay? They've got to get a hold of you, or you're not going to get any business. And I tell you, if they spend 10 minutes looking for you, they're done, okay? They're not going to look any farther because that shows them you're not accessible, okay? So we have to have that accessible. Logo is very important. How many times we see the big yellow M arches, right? That's McDonald's. We know that, okay? That logo is important. We need logos. And again, I've got this little book. Y'all can see, you can look at it at my table or whatever, of some of the designs that my son has done for the logos. He's done a lot of the logos, a lot of the contracts and things for the business that he just quit. He's written all their contracts and done their different designs and things like that. So that logo is important, okay? It says something. It says something quickly, okay? And so it shows them quickly who you are. Expanding your business. Again, we're launching this, so we're expanding it. So notice what the prudent woman, the Proverbs 31 woman does here. She expands prudently without courting neglect of her present duties by assuming other duties. Okay? I may be couponing and I may be hunting those next deals, and this is an actual story. Hunting those next deals, I'm on the internet, I'm checking them all out, but if I forget to feed my kids, have I accomplished my purpose? Okay, yes, I did forget to feed my kids one night. They came in and they said, Mom, are we eating supper tonight? And I was looking for my next deal, okay? And so I said, well, what time is it? I said, I'll be in there in a minute. 8 o'clock, Mom, we're hungry. There was plenty of food in the house, but I forgot and I neglected my duty, okay? And so we have to have that balance in there, y'all, okay? It happens to all of us, okay? You will learn as you go, but you have to balance all that in there, okay? You can do it. You've just got to prioritize. How much time do I need to spend on this? How much time do I need to spend on that? It will all fit. Okay, so how do we expand our business without neglecting our other duties? We definitely need to expand through networking events. This is one today, but there are multiple networking events. I get an email, an e-newsletter, every month that shows me all the networking events in Kentucky, in Tennessee. I know where they're at. I know when they're starting, okay? And so I go to those events and I network with people. I pass out my business cards and I talk to people. My kids do this. My 16-year-old daughter does this. My 13-year-old daughter does this. They go and they hand out business cards and they talk to people. That's where they make their contacts. That's how they expand their business, okay? And so you definitely need to get plugged in with the networking events that are going on. There's many free. Most of them you can attend once for free, okay, at least, if not multiple times. Some are completely free all the time. But go to these networking events because it's always a different turnover of people. You're going to meet new people. You're going to get ideas. And that's the one thing that it really sparks is the ideas of what you can do. Okay. Another thing we can do, tools every business professional needs, is your elevator speech. Okay. People are going to ask you, oh, so what is it you do? Okay. And then you don't want to go, oh, I don't know. Okay. You want to know what you do. You've got to have something planned out. Who you are. Okay. These are 4 key things. Who you are, what you provide, who you provide it to, and why are you different. Okay. They may meet people that provide the same thing as you. They may meet people that provide it for the same people. But why are you different, okay? Why are you different? What's the key thing that you do that sets you apart from everybody else, okay? What is that? So you need to have that planned out. You need to spend some time praying about that and putting that together because your elevator speech is what you're going to do at your networking events. You're going to stand up, you're going to give a 2-minute speech, just kind of like Renee had us do here. And so you're going to stand up, you're going to talk about that in 2 minutes, and you're going to hit all 4 of those points. And then what that's going to do is people are going to go, ooh, I need to talk to her, I need to talk to her, I need to talk to her. Okay, so all of those things. You also need a short bio of your business or yourself, okay? Basically, that's just a mission statement, okay, that you want to have. You want to have a mission statement about your business, why you do it, okay, and who you do it for. Business cards, if you don't have any, go to Vistaprint. You don't have to be an expert before you get a business card. Okay? My girls went and got their business cards off Vistaprint. They took them, and that gave them the expertise. As they handed those out, they grew in that. Then they became the expert as they got more business. Okay? So whatever it is that you think that you're going to do and go into, put that on your business card. You're speaking faith forward. Okay? So put that on there. You want to move forward with that. Daily planner, you want to have a way to keep your appointments. Now, I use my phone. The drawback to that is sometimes you delete those things, okay? But you always want to have either your phone to make your appointments. When you meet somebody, be ready to schedule something then. Because if you don't schedule something then, you go, ooh, who did I need to talk to? You forget, okay? Or you forget to call them back, or you go, oh, I'm going to call them next week. Next week comes, call next week. Schedule then, because you'll not make those contacts again. That's a right now. That's a hot moment, okay? You jump on those hot moments. All right, business card holder, when you start those networking events, you're going to need a business card holder because you're going to meet lots of people. And you're not going to remember when they hand you that business card, and you're not going to remember why you needed to talk to them down the road when you maybe got that book ready to publish. Oh, they were a publisher, but I can't remember much about them. Take little notes on the back of the cards when you meet these people, what really stuck out in your mind about them. Okay, write it on the back of the card, but also have an organizational business card holder where you've got it broken down into, these are my editors, these are my publishers, these are, the graphics designers, that type of thing, so that you have a file that you can look back through, okay? It's going to overwhelm you if you don't. You must have something like that in place. Professional appearance. You want to have a professional appearance. It doesn't mean that you have to be dressed up all the time, but I always say this, and I've seen it so many times. People go to Walmart in their pajamas, okay? If you're a business person, don't go in your curlers and pajamas to Walmart, okay? That's the only way they're going to remember you, I promise you, okay? Now, I do like to wear my sweatpants and my shorts around the house. I'm all laid back. I'm a country girl, okay? I live on a little mini farm. That's where I like to be. However, when I'm out doing business, I need to be professional. I need to be ready, okay? I need to be ready to talk to people. So that's important that we have somewhat of a professional appearance. A portfolio or brochure of our work, have something that tells about you. Now, that's not just your bio, but that's a portfolio, something you can hand somebody, okay? That's something you can give them that they go, oh, wow, they've got all this. I've got a brochure and a flyer that actually shows all the places that I spoke, all the different things, and I highlight a lot of those top things because I know that gives me credibility in multiple areas. So no matter where I'm at, when I hand that out, then those people see that, okay? They see on my brochure that, hey, she's done this. So if I'm at, I spoke for the Young Farmers and Ranchers of America for the Farm Bureau in the state of Arkansas. I did their big annual event, and so I spoke there actually on couponing. Totally different than what I'm doing here, but I put that in my portfolio, in my brochure, okay, so that when I see somebody or meet somebody maybe in that field, they can say, oh, she's worked in that field. They don't know me just as the entrepreneur or the women empowerment coach. Now they see me over here as working with the Farm Bureau, okay, in that area. So that's important. Testimonies, you want to have testimonies in place. Testimonies are basically your test marketing. You want to kind of get that out of there. Whatever it is you're doing, get testimonies from your family members, okay? And especially if you have family members across the state and so forth, different states, get them from different states because that gives you credibility all over the nation. Use their first name and their state, okay? Use their age if you want to because that gives you extra marketing because if you want to reach young people as well as older people and you put ages from young people and older people, that gives you a great diversity of what you do, okay? So it's important to get those testimonies and use them in your brochures, okay? Put those in your brochures because people see that. How many of you read reviews online before you buy something? Yeah. So we do it, don't we? Okay, that's why we need a testimony. That's why we need those in our brochures because they're going to read that to see if they want to hire you, okay? They need those testimonies. Whoever can be trusted with very little can also be trusted with much. If you're faithful with what you have, the little you have now, you're going to go on to have more, okay? But be patient with yourself, okay? And that's real important, okay? Be very patient about the time it takes to get there, okay? Because there are things that you need to know to be your very best, okay? And God needs to get those in you one step at a time. So take your time with that. Investing in your business is number 10, okay? And that's with her savings. She plants fruitful vines in her vineyard, okay? Expanding, investing now. Investing in your business. What does that mean, okay? Relationships planted are key components to business success, okay? Developing good relationships, customer service, have good customer service. My son has a 5-star rating online for his cell phone services that he does, his cell phone business. He works very hard to try and keep his customers happy, and it's paid off for him. That's something that's going to go forward that he can actually put in his retail store that says, I've got a 5-star rating with all the customers that I've dealt with, okay? Business-to-business relationships. When you're dealing with big companies like Christian Book Distributors and other places, it's important that you know what they want, okay, and you accomplish that. You have good communication there, okay? You don't want to tell them, this is my ordering policy, and then you don't get the order out, okay? Sometimes, that can really damage you. It's something we have to work continually at, is having those good business-to-business relationships. Investing will equal continued growth. The successful woman entrepreneur, she works for God. She works with God, okay? She works for Him first and foremost, but she works with Him, developing the purpose that He's put in her. And she stays alert, watching for that will throw her off course. I promise you, when you find your purpose, you're going to find a challenge, okay? I'm going to tell you that right out of the gate. So don't think when you find your purpose, it's smooth sailing. It is not. That's really when it gets tough, okay? How many can agree to that already? You know. When you find your purpose, it's going to get tough, okay? Because the enemy does not want you to reach that provision, okay? Hang in there. Keep on going, as Melody said. You've got to stay in there and hang in. And stay alert to watching those things, okay? It may be people. It may be other jobs they want you to do, okay? It may be those who discourage you along the way. It may be an overloaded schedule. It could be many things that come against you to tear you down and keep you from going forward. It might be your very own family members. It might be your children, okay? Do not let it get you off focus. You are an individual. You're the one God created to do exactly what He's called you to do. He didn't call your kids to do it. He didn't call your spouse to do it. He didn't call your friends to do it. He called you to do it. So He's going to give you what you need to stay alert, stay focused, and push on through. We got to remember Job when we're going through those rough times, right? She tastes and sees that gain from her work with and for God is good. Her lamp goes not out, but it burns on continually through the night of trouble, privation, sorrow, warning away fear, doubt, and distrust. It's going to come, but your success is going to come if you don't stop. Keep on keeping on. Okay, this is my book right here. I want to talk about briefly your gift. What is the status of your gift? You have to ask yourself this question. Is it extinct, dormant, or active? You notice there's a volcano in the front of that book because I believe our gift could be compared to that. Is your gift extinct, meaning you say, I don't have any gifts? It's not that it doesn't exist, it's that you don't believe it does, okay? Dormant, is your gift sometimes used? Are you going 90 miles an hour and you're working in your purpose and then all of a sudden, you get hit by something and that discourages you and you quit, okay? Is it sometimes hot and sometimes cold? Is your gift that way? Or is it active? Are you actively, daily doing something to empower your purpose, okay, to move forward in that purpose? Who do you want to be? Do you want to be a victim, letting circumstances control your life? Do you want to be an overcomer, just holding ground but never really moving forward? I'm just making it paycheck to paycheck, day to day to day. Do you want to stop there? That's a progressive state, yes, but we need to move on to achiever, taking control of our life to secure an abundant future. And that's what I talk about in my book. I share my testimony. I share those templates on how to use sales letters and all those different things in the back of the workbook. And it takes you through the process of writing it all down, because when you write things down, it concretes it. Our minds, many times, especially as we get older, that stuff goes in and out all the time, okay? But when we write it down, it's something we can look back on and we can go, this is why I need to keep doing what I'm doing, because look at this thought I had the other day. That was a profound thought. That had to be a God-given thought. So I need to move on that thought, okay? Because those thoughts will leave you. But if you write them down, it will secure it for you. My latest book, I'm just going to touch on it real quickly here and I'm done. This is basically a women empowerment book. It's stepping out of codependency, complacency, and insecurity. It talks about every type of woman, from married, single, divorced, widowed, separated, and it compares a biblical example of that woman. And it talks about how we can step up to become independent and God-dependent, okay? There's a great balance here, y'all, because I know I struggled this one myself as well. Sometimes we become codependent. We need that cheerleading section to push us on, okay? And what happens, we get frustrated when we get in that place, okay? So we say, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to do it myself. No matter what, I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to go on. So we step way over here on the other far side of the spectrum. We become independent. We don't need anybody or anything. It's not the place to be. We do need each other, okay? But we have to be in the center of that balance. We have to be God-dependent, knowing who He puts in place to help us forward, okay? Not needing that cheerleading section, but needing just who He put in place. So this is stepping out of insecurities and moving forward to your purpose. My book came out in March, and I'm real excited about it. It's in audio book format as well. But it takes us on to be the women that we were meant to be. Steep your life in God reality, God initiative, God provision. Don't worry about missing out. You'll find all your everyday human concerns will be met. Give your entire attention to what God is doing right now, okay? And don't get worked up about what may or may not happen tomorrow. God will help you deal with whatever hard things come when the time comes up. Focus on today, move forward towards tomorrow. Thank you, Renee.
How's everybody doing this morning? We still engaged? Feeling good? Okay. Guys, all the information that's being passed around here, take advantage of everything that you're getting today. What's a better time than right now? Okay, if it's your business, if it's your personal life, what's a better time than right now? As Alicia is passing out that information, I'm going to kind of build a little foundation before we get into this, but there was a study that was done at Harvard that said we spend 50% of our time lost in thought. So we are either caught up in what's about to happen in the future, or we're held up by what happened in the past. So caught up in, I don't think I'm going to make it. That's 5 minutes from now. Or I don't like the way she talked to me. That was 5 minutes ago. But be in the right now, today, and take action today, okay? Stop by these tables, turn around, and introduce yourself to the person behind you. Make connections that will take you to the next level today. Don't wait until Monday to get started or tomorrow, because each day, each hour that goes by is going to get further behind you in your thoughts. Start today. Start today. This is actually my third women's empowerment workshop. So every time I come, I always learn something new. So you guys are encouraging me, and I look forward to always being here and getting information and taking notes and adding things to myself as well. I'm going to pass around our Enter to Win form, so just take one of those, make sure you fill that out. We do have some gift cards that we're going to be giving away at the end of the day today. So I like giving away free stuff. So let me ask you one question. Show of hands. Who has a dream or a goal financially that they would like to reach? Show of hands. Everybody? Okay. Okay. Is anybody there yet? Okay. Good. Good. Dreams without goals are only dreams. And they ultimately fuel disappointment. Okay? But goals on the way to achievement can only be attained with discipline and consistency. I don't care what area of life it is, you have to have discipline and consistency to get from that goal to the achievement. You cannot have one without the other. You can't have consistency and not have discipline, or you can't have discipline and not have consistency. You have to have those things in place in every area of life, regardless to whether it's, again, your personal life, some goal you have that you want to achieve. And I feel like I'm qualified to talk about those types of things just from my own personal story. I love the introduction that Renee gave, but a lot of times I know we get caught up in titles and things like that. Personal banker. Listen, guys, I feel like I'm qualified to talk to you today because I know these things work, because they had to work for me first. So when I talk about building your credit score, I know what that feels like because I had a 425 credit score. I've made more mistakes in my finances 2 times over probably than everybody in this room, but I learned from those things. So I know that the principles that I talk about, I know they work because they had to work for me. So I don't talk from something I heard in a class or some degree I have on a wall, because I don't have those things. I know from personal experience, life's the best teacher, that these things work. So I am always willing to sit with anyone one-on-one and help you achieve your financial goals. I see a lot of familiar faces here in the room. It's always good to come and hear Ann and all the principles that she teaches. And I add some of those things actually to my financial presentations, guys. Credit. Let's talk about credit. Credit means a lot more to us today than it did in the past. Cash is no longer king like it used to be. Credit means so much more to us, whether it's for the purpose of saving money overall with an interest rate on a home or an automobile or insurance, qualifying for an apartment even. A lot of job interviews today, that's part of the process. And so I would hate to miss out on a job that I qualify for because my credit score is impeding my progress. guys. When you do finally get yourself to the point of having that credit score in a healthy place, it's so freeing to know that, because you are probably at that point in a really good place financially from the standpoint of being on top of your finances, okay? I'm a firm believer that it's more important what you do with the money you make than how much money you make. I have people sit down in my office every day that may make $30,000, $35,000 a year, but they have a plan in place. They have a budget that they follow, a detailed budget, and they plan for the things that they want to do and they want to accomplish. Okay? I have people that sit down in my office that make $300,000 a year that can't put gas in that Mercedes in the parking lot because they have no discipline with their finances. Okay? So what you do with the money you make is much more important than how much money you make. Okay? That's something that if you grasp that concept, there is nothing outside of the realm of possibility for you. Melody really touched on it earlier with being realistic. I got out of the realm of thinking realistic a long time ago. Okay? Being realistic is the most commonly traveled road to mediocrity. So as soon as you start thinking realistic, you just put up a barrier for yourself. Okay? So get out of that realm. People ask, Kevin, how do you go from coming from Little Muncie, Indiana, probably no one knows where that is, to Ball State, there we go, to going to the Marine Corps, to being in law enforcement, to now you're talking about finances and savings and budgeting. Because I don't allow anybody to tell me what I can or can't do. If you really know me personally and you want me to do something, tell me I can't do it. And watch me show you. That's just who I am. I don't allow myself to put up any walls or barriers. I can be whatever I want to be. And so that's the thing, and that's where my passion comes from, with being able to teach you and show you how to use these tools for your finances. For your business to flourish, you got to be in control of your personal finances first. Okay? Mike from SCORE, when he was up here earlier, he talked about one of the ways to grow your business is with your credit score being healthy. So if you really study some of the affluent and successful business people, they don't use their own money to grow their business. Their credit score helps them grow their business. So if I walk into this lending institution with a 780 credit score or an 810 credit score, and I have a good business plan in place, yeah, they'll give me a $150,000 line of credit. I don't have to use my own money. My credit score did that for me. Okay? So, again, I know what that's like, because 420, 425 somewhere, it's been that low for me. But I'm at a 798 now. That didn't happen overnight. I didn't mess it up overnight. But there's ways for you to be able to get your score in line. And you don't have to pay anybody to do that. Some of these debt consolidation places and things like that you pay these monthly fees to, they can't do anything for you that you can't do for yourself. Okay? You just have to have the knowledge and the information, and then you have to apply it. That knowledge is power. Knowledge is only power if we apply it. Okay? If we don't apply it, it's just information. So I think what Renee should have probably put on as a disclaimer on this event is you will, at the end of the day, have no more excuses as to why you aren't successful in your business, because you've got everything that you're going to need in the form of information and resources and connections right here this Saturday morning. So take advantage of that. Take advantage of it. Let's talk about credit score. FICO. Who can tell me what that stands for? Anybody? FICO? FICO score? Okay. I didn't know either. Fair and Isaac and Company. So they're the ones that basically put together the credit scoring system that they come up with the credit scores. Now, how they calculate and compute those things, I think maybe another person may know because I don't know. But there's different areas that will impact your score greater than others. Now, we all know one of the biggest things is we have to make sure that we pay on time. Okay, that's a given. Okay, you have to have an equal balance, or you should have an equal balance of revolving debt and installment debt. Okay, so installment debt being something, for the example of maybe an automobile. Okay, an automobile is, I've got a 4-year term at a fixed rate. The payment every month is going to be the same until I reach said date, and that's the end of it, and then that is my property, or that's my thing. It's an example of an installment, okay? Revolving debt is exactly what it is. Credit card, home equity line of credit, business line of credit, whatever. It's something that you have a limit on and a set amount, and you can use that amount over and over as you pay the balance down, okay? So let's talk about credit card debt for a minute, because I think that's the one that trips us up the most, at least it was for me. Because at 19, when I'm in San Diego, California, after I get out of boot camp, just like all college students, they do the same thing in the military. They start sending you all these credit card offers in the mail and credit cards in the mail, and they throw them at you, and I tried to catch every one of them they threw at me. Didn't know anything about credit cards or the principle. All I knew was when they swiped it through that machine on that desk, they gave me what I asked for, and I could go do it again and again and again. And then I get these bills in my mailbox where they couldn't close my mailbox at my apartment, and my phone is blowing up, and we didn't have caller ID yet, so you didn't know who that was. And they knew that if I didn't answer that phone after a while, they would call my unit and call my first sergeant. And then first sergeant is going to call me in and say, I'm tired of these people calling. I don't have time to deal with this. So Kevin, on PFC Williams, on payday, you are going to bring me X amount of dollars and pay this right now. So I got in just this whirlwind of debt and confusion. I'd never been taught and didn't understand how to fix this thing. So as I got to the end of my enlistment, my 4-year enlistment, I got a sum of money when I got out of the military, and I took that and I just paid everything that I had as far as balances on those things. I just paid it all off. I wanted to get it out of my way, get it behind me, and not ever deal with that again. That was the worst thing in the worst way that I could have handled that. The most important thing after having a bad period of time with credit, slow pays, collections, whatever, is to reestablish good credit with on-time payments with something, okay? So if you run into a large sum of money and you just pay that debt off in one lump sum, the credit reporting agencies take that into consideration. They can see that. I haven't reestablished over a period of time that I'm credit worthy. I just paid this off in one lump sum. So that doesn't make me credit worthy. So what I should have done with that sum of money is, rather than paying everything off in one lump sum, I should have taken maybe 4 to 5 to 6 months and made larger payments on time to pay those things off, to start to reestablish that on-time payment history. Does that make sense? With credit cards, now this is a thing that I think a lot of us don't understand. The most important day to you on that billing statement is the closing cycle date. Does anybody know why that is? Anybody? Okay. The closing cycle date is important for a couple reasons. Number one, that's the day that they report to the credit bureau that you've paid on time and what your balance is. All three credit bureaus. So if my closing cycle date is the 18th of the month, that's the day every month that they're going to report to the credit bureau that I've paid on time and what my balance is. Okay? So now, if using that example, if it's the 18th and I pay on time and they've sent that up, from the 19th to the 18th of next month, I can go ahead and use that card and use it for whatever I need to use it for, just understanding at the 18th of next month, same principle applies. So what happens a lot of times, it happened to me too, is, okay, I've paid this bill on time for 5 years. I've never been late, but my credit score isn't moving. It's not going up. In fact, it's gone down, and I don't understand why. Anybody have that question? The reason that is typically what I see when I sit down and I review someone's credit bureau with them is because of the balance, okay? If I've got a $300 limit on this credit card, even though I've never been late and I've always paid on time, if my balance hovers around 290, 250, close to that high credit limit, that's the reason why you're not seeing a significant increase in your credit score going up, okay? You want to think along the principle of 25% utilization of what's allotted to you as a limit, okay? So if you use that same $300 principle, I want to be able to, if at all possible, pay that balance down to a zero balance on that closing cycle date every month, or close to that, maybe within maybe $25 of an outstanding balance. So now I've got $300 as a limit, and my balance owed is $25 or zero, and I'm still paying on time. Takes my credit score up much faster. Okay, just that little principle right there is enough to really jumpstart your credit going in the right direction. Okay, if you aren't already doing this, at least once a year, if not more, you should be looking at your credit bureau. Okay, there's too many free sites. It's government websites that are honestly free. Okay, if you go out to a site and it tells you it's free, and then the next screen they ask you for a credit card, click off of that one and go. There are too many free ones out there. Okay. You need to look at your credit bureau for a number of reasons. Number one, you should always know what your credit score is, particularly your middle credit score. So we get 3 different scores from each credit bureau, okay? TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. So if I just look at one of those bureaus, if I just look at Equifax, and it says that I have a 657 credit score, then that, I don't know if that's the lower or the middle, or the higher of my 3 scores, okay? For example, if I'm qualifying for a home, and I go into a mortgage loan officer or to a bank, they're going to look at my middle score of my 3 scores as a qualifier for underwriting guidelines, okay? So that's one reason, to always know at least what my middle score is, if not know what all 3 scores are. The other reason, one of the other reasons, is mistakes happen on credit bureaus all the time. Now, like Renee said, my name is Kevin Williams with an A. It's pronounced as if that A were an E. Now, Mama was in her creative space with that one, so you guys call her and ask her about that. But there are still, ironically enough, there's still several Kevin Williams in the United States that spell their name the same way. So what's to say Kevin Williams in Florida, his bad credit doesn't inadvertently end up on my credit bureau? And if I'm not checking that on a regular basis, how will I ever know that? How will I ever know that that's something that's negatively impacting my credit bureau that doesn't even belong to me? Okay, so again, another reason to always check your bureau. And if you find discrepancies on there, call these credit reporting agencies called Trans. All those numbers are available. I can get those numbers for you. But those are all available to you. Call them and dispute those things and get them removed. Okay? Collections. All right? Need to know what those collections are. We pretty much know anyway. You know, but we know who we owe money to. We know who we've had issues with. We know that pile of envelopes that's sitting over there that we don't like to look at. Okay? Reverse that cycle. Instead of them having to call you and contact you, you sit down and create a budget for yourself. And that way you know how much money you have to work with monthly. And you call them with a repayment schedule that you can realistically and comfortably make back. Okay? A lot of them will negotiate with you on the balance owed because it's much better for them to get something out of that than to never be able to contact you and get anything at all. So if I have a $1,000 balance on this, negotiate with them. See what you can come up with. But creating that budget is the first place to start, guys. And that's where the turnaround had to come for me. Until I sat down and created that budget, it was never going to make sense for me, okay? And I ran from that process for a long time because I knew I was in a bad situation with my finances, but I didn't really want to sit down and see what it looked like on paper. So I ran from that for a long time. The story of the lion and the gazelle. Anybody heard that? Every day in South Africa, a gazelle gets up and knows that if he's to survive, he has to outrun the lion that's trying to eat him. Okay? And that lion knows that if he's to survive, that he has to outrun the slowest gazelle. So every morning we get up, we're either running from something or to something. So I ran from that for a long time, okay? But once you sit down and create that budget, and you're able to then answer that question that you always have every month, where's my money going? Where's all my money going? I know I should have more than this. I'm not accumulating things. Where's it going? It's never going to make sense to you until you sit down and have that realistic conversation with yourself and create that budget. Once you do that, then you know how much money you have to work with. Then you know what areas that you need to trim some things. If it's the phone bill or the cable bill, that grocery list like Ann talks about. Most of the time when I sit down with people and I help to create their budget with them, that's the main area that I can find where there's an issue is that grocery list. Create a detailed grocery list. Create menus for yourself for that month. Okay? If I'm going to have tacos and spaghetti and chili that month, put that within that grocery list and get every item that you're going to need for that. Okay? Because what happens? I'm going to make spaghetti tonight. I've got everything I need, but I need an onion. So I have to go to the store and get that onion. I'm 44 years old, and I have never gone to the store and gotten one item and left with one item. Okay, I'm going to get that onion, and then I'm going to get this 6-pack of Coke and this thing that's on sale. And before you know it, I leave out that door, spent $35 or $40 for one onion. Okay, so if I do that 2 or 3 times in a month, so, you know, I'm $60, $70 in now for one item that I went to go pick up that day. Okay? So we have to set ourselves up to be successful. So that grocery list, that's important. When I create a budget and I sit down and I help people create budgets, one of the most important things on there is to understand that one of the first people that needs to get paid every month is you. And you pay yourself in the form of a savings account. Okay? We have all this list of people that has a debt that we need to pay to them monthly. And we go out and we work 60, 70, 80 hours a week. And we don't pay ourselves anything. We feel like, well, if it's not a certain amount, it's not going to be worth it. The amount, especially in the beginning is it doesn't matter. What's most important in the beginning when you start saving is establishing the habit. The habit is much more important than the amount. Okay? I don't care if it's $2 a payday. You pay yourself consistently $2 in a savings account, in a coffee can, a jelly jar, whatever it is. Put that money in there and be disciplined to leave it there and let it grow. And you will be surprised what that grows into. This 52-week savings plan, as you look in the packet there, I think it's page 2. Guys, this is powerful. This frees a lot of people's minds. And if you've never seen this, please implement it in your daily life, and anyone that will listen to you, you pass this information on to them so they can use this. My daughter's a college student, and she works part-time right now, and she's able to do this on part-time pay, okay? So the principle basically, there's 52 weeks in a year, okay? And so week 1, you put $1 in the account. And then each week, you add $1, okay? So week 2, $2, week 3, $3, so on and so forth, okay? So Brittany's at about, my daughter Brittany, she's at about week 38 now, I believe. So if she's disciplined and continues to do that at week 52, the most she's had to put in that entire period of time, that 52 weeks, that 12 months, is $52. Now, if I don't have $52 to pay myself once, that's a whole nother conversation we need to have after this. Okay? So that is just a tool to show you that it doesn't take a lot. On week 52, if I do that, I've got $1,378 in a savings account. And she's doing that on part-time pay. Now, I know a lot of grown folks have been working a long time that don't have $1,300 in a savings account for themselves. Okay? And it's not that we don't have it. It's not that we can't do it. We just haven't disciplined ourselves to pay ourselves something every payday. Okay? Emergency savings is one of the most important things that I talk about when I counsel people one-on-one. You need to be ready for whatever emergency comes. Okay? And you have to put goals in place for yourself. Okay? If I have a goal, then I have something that I'm shooting towards, and the closer I get to that, the more inspired and encouraged I am, right? If it's whatever, it's a weight loss goal or whatever. I've lost, to date I've lost 145 pounds. So, well, tell you how I did it later. But the closer each time I looked, and I felt better, and I really didn't go by the number on the scale. I went by how I looked and how I felt. Okay? And so, you have to have a goal. So right now, we are putting money away every pay period. It automatically, as soon as our direct deposit hits that checking account, it automatically transfers that money every month into that account, as well as the money that we have set aside for our emergency account. See, if we set ourselves up that way, there's nothing in life that we can't have. See, I never taught my daughter that, I never told her we can't afford this. Because you got to be careful what you line yourself up with and what you download into these kids. Because I didn't want her to line up or associate herself with not being worthy of it. You can have anything that you want if you put a plan in place. These kids, the Jordans, they got release dates now for these shoes. And your school of thought can be whatever on the price of that thing. But if it's something I want, it's something I want. How do I get it? Well, if I know the release date, then I can start here and start saving. So I would sit down with my daughter and I'd say, okay, this is that thing that you want. This is how much it costs. How many additional chores is that going to take you? How much of your birthday money, good grade money, lemonade stand money, whatever it is, how much of that am I going to have to put away from this period here until that time. And we can do that with anything. If it's that grand vacation that you want to take, you know, maybe it won't happen next year. Maybe you have to plan that one a year and a half out or 2 years out. And so you may have to take some smaller weekend vacations or excursions until that time. If you put that plan in place, there's nothing you can't have. Don't put, again, get out of that realm of realistic thinking. I completely line up with what Melody said with that, what did you say, was it a Rolls Royce or a Bentley? I want one. And I'm not going to let anybody tell me I can't have one. Now, what I do know is until I'm able to go in there and write a check for that amount, I have no business with one. Okay? And so that, again, is that thing. You spend your money on what you want to spend your money on. You have to make wise decisions. Okay? You know, I know in a lot of situations, at least the environments that I grew up, there's people that think, you know what, if I have this car, this certain car, with this certain set of wheels on it, I've arrived. I may still live in an apartment and not own property. But if I've got this car, I've arrived. Well, you got a choice to make. Do I want to drive my money or do I want to live in my money? Okay? I want to live in my money because that house is going to appreciate over time, over and over again. That's the wisest purchase that we make at any one time, regardless to what the economy's doing. Okay? I got a little nervous for a minute a few years ago because my home value went down like everybody else's did. But here in the last 12 to 18 months, you know, we're rebounding, especially in Nashville. Guys, this is a melting pot. Every week we have people coming into the bank that have just moved into the area, okay, from outside the state because there's jobs here. You see new construction going on in these subdivisions. That home is going to be something that's going to appreciate, and it can stay in your family from now on. You know, if you're starting out with that starter home, and there's a thought process with starter home as well. If you're starting out with that starter home, don't be so quick to sell that starter home when you go to the next one. And I wish I would have done that, because if it's a 1,200 square foot starter home that you have, and you move into that next big house, how much is a $1,200 square foot apartment now go for? You know, my note on my first house was about $760 a month. I could have probably gotten $1,100 in rent and kept that as rental property and moved into that next house. So when we talk about those multiple streams of income, or as my dad used to say, more than one hustle, you know, you have to think about those things. How much is that house that you buy, and at the end of that 30 years, how much is it going to be worth then? What about the equity in that home to help me grow my business? Well, Kevin, why is that a good idea? What's the only interest we can write off at the end of the year? Interest that we pay on a mortgage. So if I get a home equity line of credit and use that as my business operating account, then I'm creating a tax deduction for myself as well. So if I use $15,000 out of that to grow my business, and that's my balance, I got a $15,000 tax deduction. I need all the tax deductions I could get every year. So, again, options. Options, guys. It just, that budget and creating that budget, it has to make sense, okay? Account for everything. It's not realistic to make a budget and say, I'm never going to, I'm done with entertainment and going out to the movies and going out to eat. I'm not going to Redbox anymore. That's not realistic. You have to build those things into that budget, or you're not going to stick to it. If it's going to get the hair done and the nails, if that's your thing, build it into that budget within reason. Okay? But when I create that budget, and that budget sheet there that you have in front of you, what I do is I give each person 3 copies of that when they sit down in front of me. And on that first copy, I say, you know, this is homework, okay? When you get home, on that first copy, write down from memory, off the top of your head, every number that applies monthly to you in those fields. Don't cheat. Don't look at the statement or anything like that. Just off the top of your head, what do I pay monthly in each one of those areas? And that's what I do with sheet 1. Then I turn that one over. On sheet 2, that's when the homework comes in. Now I have to go and gather all the bills that apply to those areas. And then I look at those statements. And then on sheet 2, I write in what I actually pay every month in those areas. So the aha moment in that comes in what I pay versus what I think I pay every month. Okay? And then with that third and final sheet, that's the time that we set appointment time for them to come back in, sit down with me, and we create that final budget. I treat savings as a debt or a bill to be paid monthly. Okay, that's not extra. So when you look at the bottom of that sheet, the very bottom, and it says surplus or shortage, that's a true number at that point because we're accounting for savings within that budget before that number. And I guarantee, so if you're doing that and you get to surplus and it's not much left, that's fine because you've gotten everything taken care of. I've got the utilities taken care of, the mortgage, the car note, groceries, entertainment, everything. Dave Ramsey, everybody knows, okay. Dave Ramsey has a lot of good principles, and I really can appreciate a lot of those things that he does. The envelope principle, that's amazing. Has anybody not heard of that envelope principle? Basically, what that is, okay, let's say I've got my budget in place now, and so I want gas. Whatever I spend monthly for gas, I'm going to put that in one envelope for the month. And then whatever I'm going to spend for groceries, I'll put that in an envelope. Whatever I have set aside for entertainment, put that in an envelope. And so when I'm done at the end of the month or I go to the entertainment, I say, hey, I want to go to the movies, and that entertainment envelope is empty, that means I'm done with entertainment for the month until next month. Or the gas, or whatever it is. Now, my thing, in the way I think with that was always, what if I lose one of those envelopes? If I lost that gas envelope for the month, how much would that sting? If it inadvertently got thrown in the trash or I lost it or whatever. So what can I do to keep that same principle in place and be safer? What about a prepaid card? There's prepaid cards that are free now. So if I use that prepaid card, or I have maybe for those same areas, gas, grocery, and entertainment, I have 3 prepaid cards that are set up the same way. I put the gas money on this one, the groceries on this one, and the entertainment money on this one. If I lose one of those cards, FDIC is going to cover me at my bank for my money. And I have a way to get that back. If I order something online, which is one of the biggest reasons why I use my prepaid card, because I can transfer money from my account to my prepaid card and make a purchase on Amazon. My good Lord, my wife and my daughter stay online buying something. Okay? And so if I transfer that money onto that prepaid card and that prepaid card number gets compromised, that's all they have access to is what is on that card. Rather than if I use my debit card and that number got compromised. And now they have access to my account, which has happened to me in the past. Scared me to death. So that's a good reason to use that. Vacation. We go on vacation. The money we have set aside, we put it on that prepaid card. If I lose it, if somebody steals it, that's all they have access to. Okay, but not everything in my account. So we got to set ourselves up for success. So, don't just go off of, you hear one report or someone say, oh, those prepaid cards, well, it depends on what you use it for. And there's tons of cards out there that are free. Okay? Again, talk to me about those things at the end. We can set up some appointment time. Guys, like I said, what's a better time than right now? Okay? For everything that you're getting today, what's a better time than right now? It's Saturday. Everybody's engaged. Everybody's writing notes down. Once Sunday comes, it gets further behind you. Monday is a holiday. And now, so we're into Tuesday, and it's, oh man, I'm back in this thing again. I went to some things Saturday. What's a better time than right now? Okay? stop by our table and set an appointment date today for us to meet next week. Don't wait to call me next week, because it's not going to happen. Okay? Something's going to happen, life's going to happen, whatever it is. Okay, the final thing I want to let you guys know is right now we do have a promotion for new business or personal checking accounts, to where if you set it up with a direct deposit and use our online bill payment system to make at least 3 of your bill payments online, we'll give you a $200 cash bonus. Okay? That's free money. I love giving away free money, especially when it's not mine. So that starts Tuesday with us, which is the 20th. And so, again, stop by our table, fill out your Enter to Win forms. Let's set some appointment dates today before we leave. Interact with these people and get some information and some contacts today before you leave. And let's start right now. All right? Thank you.
Thank you, Renee. It's a pleasure to be here. And as I said, it's an honor as well. So when you guys are talking about your businesses and your business ideas, what ADP is able to come in and help you do is manage your back office. And kind of what I touched on earlier is how many people got into business to manage an office? Exactly, nobody did. You guys all have a vision. And ADP wants to help you promote that vision and get out there and do what you guys wanted to be doing in the first place, rather than just running your back office, handling administrative duties, because nobody wants to do that, right? And as Renee said, my name's Andy Fry. I am a former Marine. Hoorah! So Kevin and I have that bond already. And then this is my manager, Chris Stratton, and I'll let him kind of talk about a little ADP.
Cool, thanks Andy. As Andy said, I'm Chris Stratton. I'm the Vice President of Sales for this area of the country for ADP. How many of you guys have heard of ADP in the past? How many of you have been paid by ADP in the past? You probably didn't even know if you did, but chances are if you've received a direct deposit in any of your former jobs, it may have come from ADP. We're going to share some interesting data with you guys just about the company, but a couple other questions for you. How many of you would like to sleep better at night once you either open your business or currently running your business? Mm-hmm. Probably everybody, right? I know my wife wants to sleep better with me snoring this time of year. But, ADP helps in a few key areas, especially I noticed back there with Mass Mutual, there was a piece on cash flow. How many of you, when you're running your business or currently opening your business, would like to better manage your cash flow when it comes to your employee-related expenses? We find that just about everybody that we sit with would say, of course, we would want to better manage our cash flow. And typically that's, when it comes to the employees, one of your largest expenses. So in regards to just ADP as a company, can anybody give me a quick summary or just a tidbit of information that you know about us already, besides the fact that we just do payroll? Okay, that's cool. That's our bread and butter. That's what we're known for. As far as what we do on an ongoing basis across the entire globe is provide HR or human capital management services. And by human capital, we're talking about the people that are behind the businesses that really make things go. In most cases in this room, that's you. As far as just what I mentioned earlier, as far as you getting a direct deposit or being paid by ADP in the past, there's a good chance because we pay that many folks across the country. How many of you guys hear the stats, or maybe on your ride to work or watching the news about the National Employment Report? When maybe President Obama's at the State of the Union and he's talking about, we've gained this many jobs over the last 6 months. Where do you guys think he gets that data from? From us. We're actually the largest sample size that the government can tap into to get accurate information. So then they can say, well, hey, in the Southeast, they added 225,000 jobs. 90,000 of those were in construction. And they can sort of let's just say forecast, what the trends may be in the future as far as the job market coming back. When it comes to the number of employees across the country, check that stat out. As far as the W-2s we're running off, especially this time of year, we're getting a lot of calls at our office here in Nashville, like, hey, y'all got my W-2 ready? My old employer hasn't mailed it out yet, maybe has the wrong address, can you point me in the right direction? We're fielding a lot of those calls. And then when you look at, the number of businesses that we're serving across the globe, and especially just right here at home in the U.S., 400,000 of our clients are actually small business. And we deem small business to be actually any company that has 49 employees or less. So Andy and I specifically work with those small businesses on a daily basis. And I'll let him tell a little bit about just what he does here locally in the small business community.
So thanks, Chris. As Chris was talking about, these are some huge numbers, and that's on a national level. So in just the Middle Tennessee area, we have about 2,500 clients here that are small businesses. So check this stat out. A lot of people, they think, okay, you guys are huge. You guys are a large company. I know ADP. They do Domino's payroll. They do the Kansas City Royals. They're too big for me. 30% of my clients are a one-employee business. So that's you guys. We're small business. And Chris said, we work with anywhere from 1 to 50. And we can handle everything, though. So as your company grows, we can grow with you guys, okay? And that's a real important thing, because when you guys set out, you got to start small. People have constantly reaffirmed that with us today. Hey, start small and then grow, just like Mike Moody was saying. Gotcha. Appreciate it. So as Chris was talking about, I think this stat is unbelievably low. And Visa did a small study, and they found that 47% of business owners are concerned with cash flow. Who in here, when you guys are running your business, who isn't concerned about cash flow? Raise your hand.
Nobody.
So, like I said, this should be 100%. Everybody should be worried about that. All right? So moving forward, as we talked about earlier, nobody wants to do these administrative tasks. It's a burden. You guys want to make money, right? Right. So go do things that are going to help generate revenue for your business. Let us handle this administrative tasks. Let us handle running your HR. Let us handle getting your payroll done for you, okay? And this was done pre-Affordable Care Act. 70% of businesses are out of compliance either with the IRS or Department of Labor. Okay, now that's a scary fact. Because how many people do we have in here? Let's just say that half of the room is out of compliance. Or 2/3 of the room is out of compliance. That's a lot. And for a small business just starting out, a fine or penalty from the IRS or Department of Labor can cost you a lot of money, in the thousands of dollars. And I know we had touched on it earlier. We want to attract the top candidates, and we want to retain the best employees that we can. Because who is your business? Your business is your employees. You are the visionary of your business. Your employees are customer facing. They are your brand. And so you want the best people to work for you, don't you? So moving forward, there was a little study done, and these are just the basic 4 life cycles of the 4 stages of a business. And so we start getting into your startup. And that's just you're trying to keep your lights on, trying to get the doors open. Ultimately, what you're trying to do is you want to survive, right? You want to make it through that rough startup phase where you're not sleeping at night, you're having nightmares about your business closing, you're having nightmares about the IRS knocking on your door. Then you get to survival and you're like, hey, I'm making a little bit of profit. I'm getting that debt paid down like Kevin was talking about. But what do you really want? You want your business to take off. You want it to move so where you're pulling in a lot of revenue. You're debt-free like Kevin's helped us get to. And then ultimately, we want it to succeed. And when you want to succeed, as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. But you have to get to that point. Just a sick, never quit work ethic is how we are going to get to right here to succeed. And so one of the 3 main areas of focus that I really see when I meet with 7 to 10 business owners every week. And I probably talk to 75 on the phone. And there are 3 concerns: cash flow, hiring the right people, and keeping the IRS out of their office. So I'm going to let Chris go into that a little bit more in detail.
Yeah, and as you can tell, Andy's very passionate about what he does, and ADP is very passionate about making sure you don't take steps back on that life cycle of a business with something that you could have avoided. For example, losing a key employee, or he mentioned, the average fine for a small business is roughly $7,500 if the Department of Labor or IRS, is to come in. And, we dot the I's and cross the T's on things that maybe aren't necessarily top of mind. But again, back to my question earlier about sleeping better at night, we make sure that you can sleep at night and you can focus on marketing your business, going and, bringing in new customers and focusing on, again, what you're passionate about. As far as those 3 key areas, the cash flow management piece tends to be the biggest one for the majority of folks that we sit with, but I find that they're all equally as important when you think about the steady upward trend of a business growing. These are some of the key ways that we help with cash flow management. When payroll liabilities are incurred, that money technically belongs to the IRS the day the employee gets that check. So it may still be sitting in your business checking account, but it technically belongs to the IRS or the state or whoever it may be headed towards. But ADP provides payroll and tax filing services that we're probably most well known for, that simply allows you to say submit payroll and allow your check or direct deposit to go in, that same night at midnight, and everything else is done on your behalf. The way that ties in with cash flow is that ADP pays those liabilities for you, and you do it a little bit at a time instead of waiting till the end of the quarter, the end of the month, and all of a sudden this lump sum payment is due, thus tying in with cash flow management. The preview reports with the technology that Andy will cover in a few slides, you actually get to look at what your liabilities are before you commit to doing anything. So it's a wonderful thing for our clients to say, okay, I need X amount of dollars in the bank account to cover this payroll. They can go on their online banking on Fifth Third, just a screen over, excuse me, and verify that the funds are there, and it's cool for ADP to come sweep them over and pay the employees. The direct deposit, again, we're very well known for that. No need to beat that one to death. Workers' compensation is something that's also required by law. Does anybody know how many employees the line is drawn at in the state of Tennessee when you have to have workers' compensation? No? Great. Love to educate. 5. Once you hit 5 employees, yourself included as the owner, you're required to have workers' compensation insurance. Do you guys know what workers' compensation does? What's that? Yeah, if you get hurt on the job. So as a business owner, you've invested, I don't know, your life savings, your 401k that you tapped out, whatever.
But just to give you a little bit of information, Capital Financial Group, we are a financial planning firm. We work with business owners and individuals on their personal financial planning. The thing that we did this last year, we created a strategic partnership with Aflac. How many of y'all have seen the Aflac commercials? I'm not sure which one you like. I like the football one that's come out here recently where he's showing clips and he's just showing the duck. That's really what he's showing on the screen. But Aflac is a nationally recognized brand. A lot of people, what I found is that they don't really know what Aflac does. They're not sure how Aflac helps out. And from our side of the business, where me working with a lot of business owners, healthcare reform or Affordable Care Act, however whichever way you want to talk about it, that's become a big question. How many of y'all have worked at a job? Have went on the interview process? What are the first 2 questions you might normally ask when you find out the job is being offered to you?
Benefits.
Yeah, how much I'm getting paid? What are my benefits? Those are the 2 questions. It doesn't change. It hasn't changed for years. I think that's everybody's question. So with the Affordable Care Act, it's now putting into the employees' hands to make decisions. And what we're finding is not everybody's really being educated. And that's what allowed us to really form this partnership. It made sense from our side because we don't just want to protect the business owner, we also want to protect its employees. I have personal experiences. One that I talk about, or 2 of them that I talk about recently. One that just happened within the last 4 months. I have a client that is a dental hygienist. If she goes to work, she gets paid. If she doesn't, she's not going to receive her paycheck. Well, her office doesn't offer any type of benefits. Most dental companies really don't offer anything to their employees. Well, she had a kidney transplant when she was in her early 20s. She got sick right before Thanksgiving. Doctors gave her some type of medication. It caused a negative reaction to her kidney. She's now on dialysis. I'm not sure if any of you ladies have seen someone on dialysis or seen that process that someone goes through. It's very tough. It turns your skin black, a lot darker. You're not really wanting to get up and go do certain things. Aflac, where they come in, and it hardens me that I didn't have this conversation with her because they have programs that help out for these type of things. I've heard everybody always say, I have great major medical insurance. I work at a job, I have this. Well, there's other costs that are associated with it. I mean, she has insurance with her husband, who he has major medical, but it's not covering the travel that she has to go. It's not covering when her husband has to get off work and also pay those extra out-of-pocket expenses. That's really where Aflac really comes in. And I always joke about it, just because it's very simple. If you were sick or hurt, there's two things that always affect you. One, your income drops, and you gotta put your arms like this, so your income drops because you're not gonna go to work, but your expenses increase. What helps fill that gap is Aflac. And if you look at my arms, it's like a duck. You can just say Aflac with it. So Aflac. Thank you. Don't make me look like the old clown up here. So basically, I'm gonna go through just some of the information in this packet that I gave you guys. Information. One of the things that a lot of people know is Aflac really started 60 years ago. They have over 50 million policyholders worldwide. In the state of Tennessee, they have over 13,000 different businesses that offer Aflac benefits to their employees. The unique thing about the commercials that you see on TV, they're always talking about 4 days, because they process claims within 4 days. Aflac prides itself on paying claims to their employees. Their whole motto is putting cash in the hands of the employees in times that matter the most when they need it the most. So, for my aunt, it would have been great to be able to say, hey, she's having money being paid to her where she doesn't have to worry about going to work. Right now, she's having to go to work on days and she's coming from receiving her dialysis and going in and she's very drained. The whole point of Aflac is want to be able to allow someone just to worry about just getting better, not worrying about the financial burdens. The other side of it about Aflac, that is another one, is my great aunt. I experienced it. This is the first time. I was 17 years old. My great aunt was diagnosed with breast cancer. I'm not sure if you guys know about statistics, but one in every 3 women is going to be diagnosed with breast cancer. Going through that experience, I used to take her to her treatments. Aflac was built off the cancer policy. The things that they pay is phenomenal. They pay for treatment, they pay for travel, they pay for any new cure that may be out there. It really allows you to focus on it. And once I started working with Aflac and started offering this to the business owners and their employees, it made me understand how the cancer policy truly works, because 8 months into my aunt really going through the process, she's a 7-year survivor now, but 8 months in, she just about lost her house and she lost her car. My family had to come in and pitch in and help out. There's only 4 different ways of people to really rely on. Either they're going to go through their savings, which we found that less than 57% of people have $1,000 in savings to help with any major medical insurance. Or they're going to go through their 401k, but you're going to take a penalty for taking that money out. She did both of those things and depleted everything. At that time, she was 68, getting close to really retiring. She's having to work now. She's having to work now at 75, 70, she's about to turn 76 this year. She's having to work now. This is a lady that worked all her years to say, hey, I'm going to retire at this point and I'm going to do whatever I want to do. Now she's forced to get back into the work field or with people that are younger than her. The Aflac policy would allow her just to not even have to worry about work and just take care of the thing that matters most, is getting better. If you turn to the next page, I had another page in front of us. So on the front page, the thing that makes it beneficial, you're on the right page right here. I'm sorry the print wasn't that great, but the things that makes it really so beneficial to business owners that it's at no direct cost to the business. The voluntary supplemental benefits, what Aflac really offers. You can control the cost. If you're not able to offer major medical, you're able to offer something to help with those out-of-pocket expenses. The other thing is what the gentleman at ADP talked about was workers' comp. Aflac policy, workers' comp pays just if you get hurt on the job. Aflac pays if you get hurt on the job or off the job. It doesn't matter. You may know some, I'm not going to say you may have done this, but you may know some people or friends that have said they got hurt off of work, but they said, hey, I really got hurt. They go into their boss, hey, I did something and I hurt myself on the job. This helps prevent people, employees wanting to lie and say, hey, I got hurt on the job, which increases your workers' comp insurance. That's one beneficial factor to the business owner. The other thing is, someone they talk about attracting and retaining employees. Like we all said earlier, benefits is one of the questions that you're going to ask once you finally get the job. That's going to be the determining factor outside of the pay while you take the job. So being able to have this to offer them is something that I deem is more beneficial once you see the impact it has. The other is the potential tax savings you're able to have from it. Everybody wants to not paying taxes. I mean, if I could, I wish I didn't have to pay taxes. But unfortunately, we all have to. As a business owner, you have to pay taxes as well. But by being able to offer this on a pre-tax basis to your employees, you'll be able to get some tax benefits from it. Those are really just some of the main key importance. The other thing that's important that I tell everyone is you don't have to worry about Aflac being implemented to your employees. I'm the person that will handle it. I'm your local agent that you just call and say, hey, I have a new employee I need you to talk to. Or hey, this employee has this going on, you need to give them a call. Or you just tell your employee, hey, call Norm. I come in and we do quarterly visits and enroll everything for you. I sit down with your payroll company, ADP. I have a good relationship with them, with one of their agents. I sit down and do the whole enrollment process, something you don't really have to worry about. Now, if you look at this next page right here, the one with the 60 and the 70, you got the gray colors on. This goes back to the question that I said earlier. Everyone said they have major medical insurance. We did a study. 60% of people that filed bankruptcy is because of major medical bills. 77% of those people had major medical insurance. That's a very high, number to me, just to hear that. When we asked them the question of if someone was to give you money for going to see the doctor, going to, these different treatments, what would you use the money for? These were the three main areas: out-of-pocket medical expenses and everyday living. They want to be able to keep the lights on, keep groceries, bringing everything else on. And the last was just the protection of loss of income. Because if I'm not going to work, I'm not receiving the payment. I can't pay the bills. I can't do anything else that I have that is important in my life. One thing that, the one thing that we have different policies that are just, they're guaranteed renewal and they're very affordable. They're between $5 to $10 a week. So for you paying something $5 to $10 a week for something that's going to pay you the benefit, if you had to use it for going to go see the doctor for just rolling your ankle, or something as catastrophic as cancer, or something where you're having a heart attack or a stroke, $5 to $10 a week to most employees is very affordable because the economic impact it's going to have on them on the long haul, if any of those things were to occur, is going to be very minimal. If I pay $5 to $10 a week for this and I receive this type of payout of, for getting my expenses covered as far as for cancer, or getting my expenses covered for having to stay in the hospital for 24 hours, receiving the benefit, and I'm getting paid the money to decide how I'm going to take care of those expenses. It seems very feasible to me. And that's the unique thing about Aflac is opposite of major medical. That insurance that you have as far as medical, it's going to pay the doctors in the hospital. Aflac is going to pay you. That's money that's coming straight to you. That's why it's processed in 4 days. It's paid out in 7. And they have just created a new feature that's starting in February. You send me a claim form today before 3 o'clock. Tomorrow you receive payment within 24 hours. Nobody else is doing that in the industry. That's something that's unique. Aflac wants to pay those claims to their policyholders. In 2013, they paid over $2.1 billion in claims to policyholders. I mean, that's an alarm rate. $2.1 billion someone's paying their policyholders. They care about that. I have a client that's had Aflac and they never even used it. They have a wellness benefit in it. You're going to go see the doctor. Well, I mean, you know, you have to, I'm sorry, I'm mispronouncing it because I don't know it, but the mammograms and things of that nature. Not nothing I really want to know about or understand a little bit, but that's something that they pay for, those type of different things. Which is, I mean, I'm just finding this from my policyholders and people that I work with, they find it's very beneficial and helpful for those out-of-pocket expenses. If you just look at the last page here, and I'm really just going to reiterate just some of the stuff that this page, the first page that you saw about the workers' comp. But what I found is more beneficial to me is that I hold some policies for myself just because of just learning. This past summer, my father was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I never knew how dramatic or how much it really costs once you're being diagnosed with something. And so it made it even more apparent to me, hey, I need to start talking to people start talking to business owners, one, about offering to their employees, but then also talking to the people that I know. Because his major medical didn't cover nearly half of what he had to pay. When you first diagnosed with diabetes, I mean, yes, you had the initial diagnosis. Then you have to go schedule a test to go to find out what level you're on. They just knew his blood sugar was up. It was over 300. He should have been in diabetic coma, but Lord, what he wasn't. You know, paying for the test. Then you have to pay for the medication that you have to give. Then it's the follow-up visits that keep costing. I mean, those things cost a lot of money. He had, in a week's time, went to the doctor 15 times before Friday. This was on a Monday, and before Friday, went to the doctor 15 times. You have to pay every time you're going to go see the doctor. His out-of-pocket expense was $2,500 before his major medical covered everything. This is a guy that didn't have $2,500 just to come out off of the cuffs of this. So that's why I see Aflac as being beneficial. Outside of everything else that is shown on TV that you hear, is that it's kind of the mantra my mom always told me. She said, son, it's going to rain outside. And I said, well, Mom, I don't really need it. It's not raining now. I don't need an umbrella. But she will always say, and I'm pretty sure you might have heard, she said, son, it's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. And that's something that I always just talk to my policyholders about, or people about what Aflac, the benefit that it offers you. It's just that it's something that's very cost efficient. You might go get coffee, it's $2.50. That's for less than 2 cups of coffee a week. You can, have these type of policies that will cover these type of things for you. Because I don't want to see someone that's like myself and my family that I'm seeing now that are being affected. That had I had this conversation with them, or had I took this position earlier, my company would have started this position earlier, I would have had that conversation with them. But I'm having to see them go through the type of things that I'm helping people out with on a daily basis and make sure they have these things in place. So I hold it more so near and dear to my heart about this type of stuff. If you just look at the last page, it's just something on there I just want to put in there funny. We always see the Chick-fil-A commercials. And I think Chick-fil-A and Aflac are the 2 most advertised companies out there. So I'm not sure where you ladies stand as far as with employees, but one of the bigger things is you can always offer some type of benefit to your employees. It doesn't matter how big your organization is. I work with employees as far as from 3 to 99 plus. Some of my colleagues joke with me because I work with a lot of wine and spirit stores. I work with a lot of wine spirits with guests because I do like to buy wine and simple alcohol every now and then. But those people are affected by it a lot. So it doesn't matter your demographic. It doesn't matter if you don't have any employees now. You know, we have things we're able to offer to you just on an individual basis as well. So if you have any questions, please come back there, see me at my table. I'd love to schedule time with you. And even if you have questions, if you know people that, you know, we all know someone that it can help. If you want more information about it, how it works, I have 2 calendars back there. We can plug time in and I can sit down and talk to you. Thank you for your time.
So I had you to write down your goals on page number 44, yes? Yes. And you were able to write down your goals, your target date, the action steps you're going to take, the obstacles you need to overcome, and then your reward. And then let's go to page number 47. So this kind of outlines that step-by-step plan for you. Okay, yes. So this is what you're going to use, and you have permission to make a bunch of copies of it and carry it with you. So when you get up in the morning, we're crystal clear about what our goal is, correct? Because you wrote the goal down. Then what are the most important things you need to do for the day? So before you start your day, make sure you fill this out as long as it's aligned with your particular goals. That makes sense? So what are the 10 most important things you need to do in order to achieve your goals? So we identified 5, but we want to write 10. Are there any customers you need to call? Who are they? Name and phone number and email. Who are the prospective customers? Name, phone number, and email. So prospective means that people that you're going to contact in order to do what? Get business, correct? And then any business calls, any personal calls. Look what I have here. Notes to write. Is anybody still writing notes? Thank you notes? Or are we just constantly sending emails? Yeah, thank you notes. Yeah, it means a lot. And then 5 ways you're going to market your business today. And another 5 ways you're going to market your business. So the goal is, this is the secret. This is the master secret to really building a business and taking it to the next level. Is that every single day you should do 3 to 5 different things to market your business. Every day. Every single day. Whether you feel like it or not. Every single day. 3 to 5 different things to market your business. So maybe it's making phone calls. Maybe it's sending out emails. Maybe it's doing a social media campaign. Maybe it's writing a press release, right? To be featured in newspapers, right? And then what else can you do? What can that 5th action step be? Maybe it's to be interviewed on a radio or TV show, okay? So what I want to share with you is just 20 marketing strategies, and what I want you to do is on your action plan form, is to write down the action steps that you're going to take. So when you look at these strategies, what are the strategies that you're going to use in order to market and promote your business? Now, one of your homework assignments is going to be, for your particular industry that you're in, you have to identify what works in your industry, right? So I studied somebody like Brendan Burchard, who's a multi-million-dollar motivational speaker, trainer, coach, life coach, business coach. So he's someone that's doing it, and doing it in abundance. Brendan Burchard. And so his message is the Millionaire Messenger. He was in a car accident. He asked himself, did I live, did I love, did I matter? The answers were no, no, no. So when he got himself together, he began to go around teaching, speaking, and training on those 3 principles. Okay. So I'm going to study his process. So I can literally go to his website. I can reach out to him directly and allow him the opportunity to mentor me because he is where I desire to go. And he's doing very similar to what the things that I'm doing, correct? So I'm going to study somebody in my industry that is very successful. So of course you have to have a website. But so what? So what you have a website. Everybody has a website. How are you going to draw traffic to your website? So the question that I want to ask you there is, when people go to your website, what do you want them to do? When people go to your website, what do you want them to do? Is it buy a book? Is it to sign up for a coaching session? Is it to book an appointment to get their nails done, their skincare done? What do you want them to do? So if you say, I want them to book an appointment, then you have to have tools on your website in order for them to book an appointment. And it has to be simple, simplistic, very easy. So you have to have a website. Also, what about hosting monthly teleseminars and teleclasses? Each one of you, regardless of what industry you're in, you have an area of expertise. You can go to freeconferencepro.com. That's freeconferencepro.com. It won't cost you a dime. In order to be able to have a system where you can do teleseminars and teleclasses. It will help to establish you as an expert. So we have Tracy Johnson, who's an editor. Okay. So can Tracy Johnson do a teleseminar as an editor? Of course she can, because she can share with me as an author 10 strategies to edit my book. Does that make sense? So that establishes her as what? As an expert. You're absolutely correct. Also, launch a press release campaign. I have this young intern. She came from Trevecca University, and she's getting her degree in business administration and marketing. She's an intern. So she comes to work with me. I give her experience, right? I'm going to give her a glowing letter. She's going to add me to her resume. But she writes press releases every single week. She has been able to get me featured in a newspaper every single month. What is her key strategy? Consistency. So every single week you should be writing a press release, some news, but it has to be newsworthy. So my question to you when it comes to a press release campaign, are you doing something that's newsworthy? That's either a yes or a no. That's either a yes or a no. Are you doing something that's newsworthy? What makes you so special in the marketplace? What makes you so unique? Why should I spend my hard-earned dollars on you? What's the questions you want to ask to make sure that you are giving value to your customers? Also, radio interviews. How many of you have ever done a radio interview before? I think Jazzy talked about it. Jazzy, you were on Blog Talk Radio, correct? Which is a podcast radio show. So what Jazzy can do is Jazzy says, I have a poem that talks about women empowerment, like she gave today. She can Google podcast radio shows geared towards women empowerment. Women empowerment radio shows, women radio shows, empowerment radio shows, and Google will give you a list of everybody that's doing a women's empowerment radio show. So then what Jazzy's going to do is she's going to send them a press release to say, hey, my name is Jazzy, I'm an author, I can bring value to your listeners and to your radio show because I'm going to share these 3 keys, right? So because she's bringing value to me, am I going to have her on my show as a guest? Yes. So how many of you came here today because of Jazzy? I need you to stand up. Look at that. Isn't that serious? Yeah. So we want Jazzy on our team, right? Because she has an awesome network. Give her a round of applause. Thank you, Jazzy. Also, TV interviews, the same thing. I think you mentioned that you were with Bobb Skincare. Okay, so you have some tips and strategies that you can give about how to look younger, and we all want, of course, want to look younger, so you can give you some tips and strategies. So you're going to Google TV talk shows where you can talk about healthy living, skincare tips, and all these different TV shows are going to pop up. All she has to do is do what we used to do back in 1990 is pick up the what? We don't call nobody anymore. And talk and introduce ourselves. Say, hello, my name is Renee Bobb. You know, I'm with Bobb. I have some tips and strategies that I would love to share to your viewing audience. And I have some great insight about how to take care of your skin. I would love to be a guest on your TV talk show. I will bring value to your viewers. Are they going to say no? But is it possible that when you look at your action plan and those strategies that you're going to use, can you contact 5 TV talk shows in 1 week? Can you make that a part of your process? which means that every day you're reaching out to just one. Do you have 15, 20 minutes to reach out to just one? Oh, yeah. Okay, very good. Excellent. Next, of course, my favorite best-selling book. Why is it so important that you write a book? Say again? Become an expert.
I would say add income to.
Say again?
To add income.
Add income, creating multiple streams of income. You're absolutely correct. But when you are an author, whether you're self-published or not, you are a what? An expert. It establishes you as an expert. So, the name of your organization one more time?
The Real Women of Color.
And what do you do?
We are a 501c3 nonprofit that helps single mothers and at-risk youth.
Excellent. So in your book, you're going to give me strategies and tips as a single mother on how I can help and raise my children, correct? And then in the back of the book, you're going to give me some community resources that I can tap into, correct? So that creates what? Value. And it establishes you as an expert. And then you're going to have those pictures of all those families that you gave school clothes to and books when they didn't have books to go, and school supplies, what? And that does what?
Build credibility.
That builds credibility. You guys are smart. And if you have a book, you have to have an ebook. If you have an ebook, you have to have a CD. If you have a CD, you have to have a DVD. Because more and more people are what? Do we read a lot?
Right.
What else would we like to do?
Get online.
Listen, how many of you on YouTube, you watch videos? Yes? So is it possible that you could do a YouTube video about your products and your services, correct? How much does it cost to do a YouTube video? Yeah, can we create our own YouTube channel? And it was so interesting, they tell you step by step how to do that. Videos is a multi-billion-dollar industry. And so we're getting more and more away from having a website to having a Facebook page and then doing a YouTube channel.
Yes. We do like a live hangout with people like at a certain time, and all they have to do is click on the link and they can like watch you do it like in person. Right?
Exactly. So when Jazzy is out there, she has a couple of events that are coming up. She's going to have a camera with her. Didn't you have a camera with you last time? I think your husband came? Okay, and so live with Jazzy. While she's performing, people can be able to see, and then at the end it says, go to my website to get a copy of my new book. Or go to my website and download it instantly. Okay? And then, of course, you have to have an in-home study course. Why is that so important? Say again?
Continuing education.
Okay, so we have Mr. Kevin with an A. Williams. And he's a financial empowerment guru. He has information and strategies on how to build wealth and how to get out of debt. Okay. I live in Alaska. I want to do what Kevin does. Can I download Kevin's course in which he shares everything he's done and pay a fee and learn his secrets and his strategies? Correct? Get a copy of his best-selling book, his ebook, his DVD, his CD, which is a part of his in-home study program. Doesn't that make sense? So we've got to get away from doing everything on our own and figuring out a way to duplicate ourselves. You have to duplicate yourself. So how do you duplicate yourself? By creating a book, an ebook, a CD, a DVD, an in-home study course, as well as an online training program. And the wonderful thing about Google is you can Google how to, and guess what they'll do? They'll specifically tell you how to. So we go back to wasting time, right? So imagine putting energy into creating a CD as opposed to wasting some of the time that we waste. And we can use that. All of these are income streams. Would you not agree? Excellent. Very good. Yes, online training. So, here are some of the services I offer. Myself as doing one-on-one coaching, workshops, seminars, group coaching, teleseminars, webinars, and in-home training programs as well. So my primary goal is duplication. So I'm only one person. So one of the things that I did a couple years ago, some of you might know this story, but they had the big, President Obama had the stimulus package that came out, where if you were dealing with some financial issues, you can go to 7 different nonprofit agencies here in the area, and you can get some financial assistance. But in order to get the financial assistance, you actually had to go through some financial empowerment training. So once I found out who the 7 nonprofit agencies were, I put together a short little proposal and said, hey, I would love the opportunity to work with those individuals that have financial issues. I have a degree, but it's not in finances, it's in business. But I've been through some financial things and I can share with people how to get their financial lives in order. So then I put in the proposal that I have a book about financial empowerment, how to get your financial household in order. And I was able to win 4 of the 7 contracts, right? So I go around, I speak and I teach and I do training. Now I don't do that all myself. Remember earlier I told you I subcontract some of that out to who? To other trainers. So have I figured out a way to duplicate myself? Yeah. So in your business, how do you duplicate yourself? Any ideas? Networking, okay. Finding like-minded people. What else? Subcontracting out. Yes, what else?
Books, writing books about
But where does money come from? Say again? Investors. Can you get a clean piece of paper and let me share this with you? This is part of your homework assignment also. I need for you to get crystal clear of where your income's going to come from. Crystal clear. Crystal clear. Where does money come from? So number 1, it comes from business owners, right? Small business owners such as yourself. So I have a product or service and I can market it to you, and then you in turn will buy my product or service as a small business owner, correct? Also individuals. These are people that don't have a business, but they're just regular people. They're regular customers that want to utilize your products and your services. They can be men, they can be women, they can be teenagers, just individual people. So that's 2. Who is the biggest employer in the country? The government. So do you have a product or service that you can market to the government? Yes or no? The answer is yes. And I'm going to send you all an email of a free training that's coming up from the Small Business Administration where they're going to share with you how to get government contracts. And it doesn't cost you a dime. And they will share with you the step-by-step process of how to get a government contract. So the government, okay? So where else does money come from? So maybe I have a, Michelle, what do you do?
Life coach.
Okay, life coach. So Michelle is an expert in working with individuals that you are students, yes? And what school do you go to?
Tennessee Tech.
She goes to Tennessee Tech. So Michelle has created some strategies on how to help young people in college in order to be able to do time management. Remember, because that's an issue that a lot of people have. So she created a CD, a DVD, a book, and so on and so forth. So now Michelle is going to go to her school and get a contract to work with the students. You're going to teach the students. You're going to work with the students on time management. That's her area of expertise. So once she gets a contract with your school, what is she going to do? She's going to go to other schools and duplicate the same process. Doesn't that make sense? So now Michelle's customers are who? Colleges and universities. So write that down. Colleges and universities. Who else? What about adult education centers? So I would like for you to Google all of the adult education centers in the area. Go online and see what type of training do they like people to come in and do. So, to give you an example, this young lady here is she's an event coordinator. Oh my goodness. So, she's going to do a workshop or training on how to have a successful event. And who's going to come to her events? Speak people like me, right? And so she's going to create a CD, a DVD, an ebook, and so on and so forth. So the adult education center is going to pay her a fee to come out and teach, and then they're going to buy a copy of her book for every student that's in that classroom. And then once the class is over, guess what she's going to do? I'll do some one-on-one coaching with each of you students for a discount because you were in my class. So she's created 3 streams of income. The school's going to pay her, they're going to buy her books, and then the students. Doesn't that make sense? Yeah, outside the box. So we have adult education centers, we talk about college universities. Who else? Where else can we get money from? I hope this has stretched you. What about corporations? What about corporations? So, corporations, Ann Haney, we're going to use you as an example. What product or service do you have that you can offer a corporation?
I can offer them coupon kits.
Okay, let's stick there. The coupon kits. So how can a company benefit from Ann Haney's expertise? So I own Verizon, and my employees are having issues managing their money. So I'm going to bring the coupon lady in to train my employees on how to coupon, because once they get their finances in order, they're going to be more productive on the job. So the corporation is going to give her a contract to go to all the Verizon locations to do the training. They're going to buy a copy of her books and so on and so forth for every employee. Does that make sense? Yes, yes, yes. So who else? Who else? One more. Can we get one more? Where else does money come from? Outside the box. Who said that? Can you believe? Say it again. All the way from the back, she said churches. I need you to support that answer. Why did you say churches?
A lot of churches now are starting to really empower their members outside of just spirituality. They're trying to teach them, how to have successful homes, how to build their finances, how to become business owners, how to have multiple streams. So now it's getting bigger than just their spiritual wealth, and it's taking all aspects of their life. So a lot of churches are contracting speakers out, even fitness coaches and all types of things to come into the church and empower their members.
Excellent, excellent. So let me give you a great example. I go to Mount Zion, the one in Old Hickory. So Bishop Walker, and you guys know, a little bit over 30,000 members. He announced on the first Sunday of church that he has a book club that he just launched. His first author is Dave Ramsey. He's encouraging everybody to get a copy of Dave Ramsey's book, because we are going to be doing small group training on Dave Ramsey's book. So what has happened to Dave Ramsey's sales? And then what's going to happen with the people in the church? They don't learn more about finances. But then also that small group, so you're absolutely correct. So do you have a product or a service that a church can benefit from? Now let's flip it a little bit, and let's go back to the editor here. She's an editor. So how can this editor benefit from these churches? They have websites, they put bulletins out, they put all types of correspondence out. So can she get a contract with different churches to edit their materials? So I hope that this exercise has really stretched you out of your comfort zone for you to start looking at where are all the different ways that income can come in to feed you. One of the biggest mistakes that I made as an entrepreneur many years ago, 7 years ago, was that 95% of my income was coming from you. And so when the Great Recession happened and you started having issues, who else started having issues? Me. Everything began to fall apart. I was like, never, ever again will I put all my eggs in what? In one basket. So now we have all of our income streams, right? We have different ways that income's going to feed us. But do you have systems in place to receive the income? Do you have a square? That's either a yes or a no. So a square, how much does a square cost?
Free.
It's free. What else? Kevin, what other tools could you have that we could use to kind of be able to capture our dollars?
Square, like you said, that's a good one. Any credit card solutions, ADP, their services are,
ADP, that's exactly correct.
We also have a Square.
Excellent.
It's ADP's version of Square.
So the one thing I've learned in business, I would like to get all my stuff from one location. So if they have a Square and they can give me other services, wouldn't it be better? How many of you use PayPal? Okay, very good. So you have some sort of online where you can capture sales as well. Do you still take checks? Do you take cash? How does your money come to you? Okay. So the last thing that we're going to do from here is we went over our goals, we went over our obstacles, we create our action plan, right? We talked about our reward. I want for each of you to tell me what's next for you. And we'll start with Michelle in the back. So Michelle, what's next for you?
I don't know. I mean, I hear you. I hear everything you're saying. I can't even write in the book. Like, I don't, I feel like I have so many options, and I don't know which one to choose.
Okay.
So maybe my next step from here will be getting a coach, working with a coach.
Right. Right. And I have a coach. A good coach has to have a coach.
Yes.
So when I was in that place, Michelle, what I did was I called my baby daddy to come get these kids, and I jumped in the car and I just drove. And I found the little city that I went to, and I had this book by Dr. Barbara Shear, which talked about I would do what I love if I only knew what it is I was supposed to be doing. And I just locked myself in a hotel, no cell phones, no TV, no radio, and I went through that book page by page to kind of get that clarity. Because sometimes when you have so much stuff going on, how do you focus in on one different thing? And we know that our goal is to be an expert at one thing, get that developed, and then add more as we continue to go on. So maybe it's going away, where you can hear, you can shut down the chatter. Somebody must have told you that already.
Yeah, I do need to go.
Okay, excellent. So Jazzy, what's next for you?
Oh, so much. I want to, I like the idea about the home study course that I can do my life coaching and online training. Also kind of want to find the target market who can buy my poetry books like in bulk. I kind of have to form a vision right for that. I don't know, I guess just reaching out more, networking more, getting more exposure, more promotion.
Excellent. So I hope that you're going to be looking at colleges and universities, especially HBCUs that have these, all the schools have these African programs, African literature programs. Why can't you sell your books in bulk to the schools? Oh. Next, what's next for you, ma'am?
I'm working on a conference/community day.
Outstanding. Very good. Excellent. What's next for you, ma'am?
Just getting started, figuring out which direction I'm going to go in. So basically, probably writing my vision.
Write your vision. Make it plain.
Right, yeah.
Excellent. Okay, very good.
To just do it.
That's it. What's it going to take for you just to do it?
Stop procrastinating.
What is it going to take for you to stop procrastinating?
Fine.
What is it going to take for you to stop procrastinating?
Get out of my own way.
No. Because you know that if you don't move, the universe is going to move you. Just don't let that happen. Get busy. Did you just say that to her? Get busy. All right, next. What's next for you, young lady?
Oh, what's next for me is to find a grant writer for the organization and hire people outside of myself and her to do the work.
Makes a huge difference.
Yes.
Have you been to the Center for Nonprofit Management yet?
Yes, we're
Okay.
a member.
Okay. All right, good. All right, excellent. What's next for you?
Well, of course, find a grant writer. But to research more on the teleseminars, to do a 10-step strategy to become a 501c nonprofit.
Excellent,
I think
excellent.
that would be great. And then also just start the blog.
Yeah, I wish there was more training as a single parent on tips on raising a daughter, I just wish there was more resources and information. And then the truth.
Definitely.
Yes.
The truth. Now I have those kids. Excellent. What's next for you, man?
All these ideas that you're talking about just make my brain go. I think one of the next things for me is to research marketing, because as you're saying all these things, I can see it happening, but the question that comes up in my mind is, well, how do I know what to charge? That kind of stuff. So the marketing of it.
So it's going to be doing some research to see what your competitors are charging, and okay, very good. And it's always better, in my opinion, to start high than to start low and then beg your way back up. You see what I'm saying? Because sometimes we don't value our products and our service. I mean, we want to be competitive, but sometimes we are too low. And it is hard to really keep the momentum. Excellent, very good. Young lady, what's next for you?
I guess finding my focus with school and everything because I'm kind of all over the place.
Yes, it's hard, isn't it? Very good. Excellent. Okay, so she don't get focused. It's very good. What's next for you?
I've got 3 books on the editing process of business and marketing and the real world of editing. I'm working 2 at home and I'm reading, so continue with that and get into LinkedIn and do that kind of thing. Have my little video.
Excellent. Very good. Very good. Very good. What's next for you?
What's next for me? I know during the 2 months that I was unemployed, something that she kept telling me with my years of corporate training and expertise as a leader that I could coach, which I have been coaching. And then in my current job, one of the managers that works with me, she's brand new, first management job, she's 20. And she came to me and she said, you've got the experience, I need help. So I work with her every day. So for me, I know the high schools also have the hospitality management. So that's something, to work a plan where I could actually go into the high schools and the culinary schools and kind of give them the basis of what it is when you get to that management side and how you can develop that team that will, quote unquote, support you and jump hoops if you ask them to, because you're supporting them in their vision. So kind of that's kind of the direction, something she'd been kind of pushing, but now that it's kind of fallen into place with the church member who needed coaching, and now I've got a 20-year-old bar manager who's not even old enough to drink.
Right. And you bring up a lot of great points. Is there a market or a need in the marketplace that you can fulfill? So what do you guys see happening in your industry that maybe you could put a spin on, like what she's talking about, with the young individuals and training them? Excellent. What's next for you, ma'am?
My first thing would be to get out of bed before you. But I really want to get on a schedule, like Melody said, and just write it out. Because if I don't have a schedule, then I won't do anything, and I'll procrastinate. Even if that means getting up and doing my daily spiritual time and going to the library, getting out of my comfort zone. Because if I'm at home in my bed, I'm not going to do it. So I need to get up and do what I need to do and utilize my resources at the job I am now until I am able to completely get on my feet.
Excellent. And then once you get in the habit of the night before creating a plan for the next day, you're going to be amazed how your life is going to change. More productive. Yeah. Because time is an unredeemable quality. We cannot get back the time.
Right.
So, excellent.
I am a speaker, and I am working presently on publishing, getting my book published. So I'm going to be doing an anthology. So I will be partnering with some other women. So I'm doing a chapter, which is an article that I'm completing. I have an editor that's working with me in the publishing company. So one of my first goals is to get clear on that story and get it completed. And it's scheduled to be published. We're looking at August and October. So getting that completed and getting some paid speaking engagements.
Excellent. And it's a process to getting paid speaking engagements. Excellent. Very good. Yes.
I want to make more time for networking and making connections. I am guilty of making connections. I'll meet a lot of people and I'll share, but I don't want to call. I'm a texter, so I'm working on
You're
that.
one of them.
So I'm going to work on improving that, making phone calls, talking to people, and getting stuff better.
Right. And so how do you balance it out? Because there's a generation of people that all they do is, I have the best conversation sometimes with texting. So how do you balance it out? So that you're doing the texting, but you're also reaching out with telephone and so on and so forth. Okay, excellent. And what's next for you?
A couple of things. I've got, first of all, one product that is not actually first of distributed because I haven't presented it yet. It's a 5-part DVD series with a pamphlet, and then I'm creating a student consumer education book to go with that. And so that's going in. And then in March, I'm going to be the red carpet interviewer for the National Youth Activists here at the Omni Hotel. And so I want to get more involved with the young people and make those connections and trying to get my books in their hands and helping them to go forward and have vision and goals for the future.
Excellent. Very good. good. Good plan. What's next?
I believe a lot of times part of my procrastination is due to fear, and fear can paralyze me. So part of it is just do it, and getting out and meeting businesses and meeting people and just pushing through the fear of rejection. And once I overcome that, then it'll get easier and easier. So just stepping out, just doing it.
Yes, and that fear is nothing more than false evidence appearing real, right? They're not rejecting you.
Right.
They're missing out on the opportunity to experience your greatness. Yeah, so we flip that fear around. And the interesting thing, we know it's a numbers thing, yes? Do we know that? In business, it's a numbers thing. One of the best lessons that I received was as a Mary Kay beauty consultant. I was in a business, did very, very well. And what's interesting is, one of the strategies that they had is that every day you had to hand out 10 business cards. You couldn't go home to your family until you handed out 10 business cards. I love my family. So what did I do? Handed out 10 business. So it made me get over my fear of talking to people. And it's a process. So excellent. What's next for you?
Oh, removing the cobwebs and the clutter from my plan that I have put together. So I can work the plan because I kept going in and out, Okay, now it's time. The fear of, gotta get back to it, being consistent in trying to finish my work.
Excellent. So do you
everything else hinges on it.
Do you drive?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so there was a process to learn how to drive, yes, which means that you had to take the permit test, and then you had to take the road test, but you had to practice driving.
Absolutely.
You're very good. So you got that whole analogy I just made that, it's just that consistency will equal success.
Getting closer and closer and closer.
Right.
I have 125, 30 pages.
Excellent. Very good. Very good. Andy, what's next, sir?
Decide what to be and go be it.
Oh, very good. Just go do it.
What do you want to do? Like, I think it was you that were saying, I just got to do it. Just go. Just decide what to be and go do it. That's it.
No fear. Excellent. Norman Washington II, what's next for you?
I guess don't expect people to understand my grind, because they don't have my vision. So if there are things I give up, things I'm willing to sacrifice, I can't expect everybody else to, understand that. So that's really the next step.
Man, that's a hard and painful lesson to learn. Because you want them to go with you.
Yeah.
But this journey that you're on is what? It's your journey.
So that's really the next step.
Excellent, very good.
That goes to people.
Excellent, okay. Melody, what's next?
Actually, launching from also Bobb to the public. So I have run the email campaigns and advertising for my actual first coaching program that I released today. I'm preparing for my first big event for Future this Spring in Memphis, Tennessee. It's going to be an inspirational brunch for women. So doing the marketing for that, planning that, and finishing the book that I'm going to launch at that. So those are the next big things.
Excellent, very good, very good. Kevin, what's next?
I think for me it's going to be the social media. So adding a Facebook page to my personal Facebook page and starting a YouTube channel. So you can have all the great information in the world, but nobody knows it exists.
And you can't be on Facebook on Monday and then don't show up till 60 days later. It has to be a consistent, right? A consistent connect. So, very good. Excellent. Alicia, what's next for you?
I would say completing all these wonderful homework assignments that you've given us. Because every time I come to a workshop, I just do hear you in my mind. I think even open, even more so. But just really making an effort to step outside the box. I may have to take a little trip myself and shut off the phones and say, honey, can you handle this at home and have some me time and really think about seriously how I can take me to the next level and give everything that I can give of myself and be the best me that I can be.
Outstanding.
That's my homework assignment.
Very good, very good. Outstanding. So the last thing we're going to do is you have evaluation inside your packet. If you don't mind filling that out for me. And you can leave them up front, but I want to thank you all for coming, and I will be sending you all just an email of everybody that was here so you can connect with them, including the speakers and the vendors. Yes?
I can't remember what it was, but you said that you were going to give us a link to a training or something, the website. You already did that.
Training?
Yeah, I gave that out to you.
SBA?
Oh, no, I'm going to email that to you. Yes, yeah, the SBA. I'll email it to you. And then also, last thing, I know I keep saying last thing, but this is really the last thing. Did you guys know that this week there's a women's entrepreneur center that just opened up here in Nashville? Called Pathways. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes.